Well, hello, Mr. Sumkat. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing. It's morning.
It's morning, I know.
And we're too used to streaming at night. This is fucking. It's already scuffed.
Hey, we only do scuffed things, so don't even worry about it. Welcome, everybody. This is the welcome to the second episode of Two Monkeys in a Stream Deck, or like 1.5 monkey. I don't know. I'm like 30% here today because I'm just tired. No, actually, I'm not. I'm not that tired. I actually had for the first time
in forever
this week. Well, this week, let's say the last 2 weeks, I had a great night's sleep. I didn't stream yesterday, so I went to bed at like 10 p.m. It was pretty good. It was like saucy. I woke up at 7. I woke up at 6:45 a.m. Like by no alarm. Just like like birds came in through the window. They took my they put the robot, like, you know, Disney presents. Like, it was great. I feel great.
They took off your clothes. You know, they forced you into a closet. It was really weird, but it was great.
You know, they're animals, so I just let them do their thing. I trusted in Mother Nature that they knew what they were doing. I'm a little bit sore and I walk funny, but it's, you know, I feel great though. I feel relaxed. How are you doing? How's your week been? How's your last 2 weeks been?
Oh fucking hell! Oh, everything's been up in the air so bad.
What do you mean? Like what?
I made a mistake in going into college when I forgot to shave. You see, nobody had seen my shaved head, so me coming back and just being this 6'6" freak.
Coming like, who's the skinhead?
The bald. Yeah, exactly. I got so many Nazi jokes.
Unfortunately, that's what people think. Like, if people see like a big, tall dude with a bald head, a lot of people assume neo-Nazi. Like it.
Yeah.
I saw that happening when I was in high school. Like there were a couple of neo-Nazis in my hometown. And then a friend of ours had this luscious long head of hair. And then one day he just got fucking tired of it. And he said, I'm going to shave it off. But he just didn't, he didn't just buzz it. He he went you know, and
razor. And
suddenly those dudes in my hometown started like saying hi to him. Be like, hey, you're like one of us? Is this a thing? And he was so upset. He was like, no, this is definitely not what that.
I'm not one of you.
Yeah, exactly. I am not one of you. It was so embarrassing. He regretted it immensely. So yeah, I'm sorry that you're going through that, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it doesn't help that I wear a lot of black as well.
I guess.
I'm really not.
Do you wear combat boots?
I wanted to buy a pair of Doc Martens. Is that bad? Yeah, I wanted to buy a pair of fucking Doc Martens.
As soon as you shave the whole head, you're like, oh, I have this weird inkling to just buy some black Doc Martens.
God, I really want to go to a rally. I really feel like going to a rally all of a sudden.
As soon as you finish shaving your head, you get an email like, what is this? Welcome? What does this mean?
Oh, I've been invited to this club.
Exactly. Oh, this sounds nice.
They have a cool sign. That's pretty fucking cool. Is that the Hindu? Is that the Hindu symbol for peace?
Exactly.
Oh, that's fucking wicked.
Imagine someone being so disconnected from like the real world that they don't recognize. I don't know of anyone in real life that I've met that doesn't know what that symbol means, or what that symbol at least now means. Like, you know what I mean? Can you imagine someone who grows up like now? Is there a possibility that there are people who grew up, or they're maybe a little bit young, but like a teenager now, that don't know what that symbol means?
Honestly, I think no one in the Western world. I honestly think our education is good enough that we.
I think so too. I think it's so recognizable that everybody knows what it is. Okay,
there are
thank
those
God.
Families, you know how it be.
I know.
Yikes, Chief.
You know what I wanted to actually talk a little bit about. I wanted to talk today a little bit about something we didn't touch a lot on last time we did this, which I think is worth talking about because we both are involved in it. Like, I want to talk about streaming in general. Like, how's your last 2 weeks of streaming? Like, you know, we're part of that like huge community of people who are now streaming on Twitch. who are like what people like to call small streamers. I don't like that. I don't like that nomenclature. I just like to call ourselves streamers with maybe a smaller audience, like, you know, growing streamers. I like that better, for example. And I feel
it is a little bit belittling, isn't it?
I agree, and I really dislike these. Like the thing that I heard once that made me really start disliking the small streamer tag and all that stuff was someone who said, "Why do you call yourselves small streamers? That means that you're limiting yourself mentally into that state where you're never going to grow, and that's not what you want, unless that is what you want. But if that's not what you want, stop with that mentality and think of yourself as an emerging or growing streamer. And I think that makes more sense. So as part of that huge community, because there's literally thousands of streamers like us on Twitch right now, I think it's cool that we talk a little bit about how we see things and how we're like how it is for us in that world. You know what I mean? So that's what I want to talk about. Like how's like the last 2 weeks of your stream been going for you?
Well, I mean, one thing that I found in reading over an article that a friend sent to me was that large games don't work for lower count streamers.
That is very true.
And I see a fly around you. I'm sorry. That's the same fucking fly that was there 2 days ago.
No. It's dude, you don't understand. You don't understand the epitome that I have in this city. There are thousands of flies. I have 10 to 12 flies in my house every day, and I kill them. I have a fly swatter. Like, I have to do it, or else they're very annoying. And there's 3 in my office right now. Isn't it cool?
I would lose my mind.
Me and my wife lose our mind on the daily. I just need to plug in something. Keep going.
So, I mean, the thing about it is, I was always on the teetering edge of putting that to the test, and I'm sure that it's true. I believed it when I first read it because it made sense to me, and when I put it into exercise, I realized that it was all the more true. That fucking fly! Oh my god!
There's
it's
so
on
many.
your webcam.
I'm so sorry.
It's how many?
There's like four.
How stinky is your fucking room?
It's not.
What are you doing?
It's not about the smell. It's just this is how summer is in a hot country. Welcome. It's still pretty hot here, by the way. It's still it's still 26 degrees in general here.
Okay, it's right now it's 15 degrees in Ireland. And do you want to know the temperature of my room?
Yes.
This morning, 14 degrees, and it's 15 degrees outside.
Jesus.
Tell me that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Now that's what I was used to when I lived over there. So, but this is how it is at home. So, but yeah, sorry, you were saying big games.
Okay, so I started playing a little bit more of Hunt Showdown. That's considered a large game now, especially because the viewer base. If they say it's anything above, I think it's a billion. If they peaked at 1 billion in the past month, then it's considered a big game on Twitch. But I don't agree with that necessarily, because those numbers can be super inflated if a big streamer joins the ranks. For example, Tarkov is a great example of this. Tarkov is generally a, let's say, 6,000 to 7,000 viewer game on Twitch, which is very sustainable, but it's not big, right? It's not the biggest game. But for example, Summit is playing a lot of Tarkov lately. Grims is playing a lot of Tarkov lately. These are streamers who jump between games and they have huge audiences. When they join in on Tarkov, for example, they inflate those numbers completely. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't think I agree with Hunt being, because like if we look at Hunt right now, what is the viewership for Hunt at 11 in the morning in Europe? It's not even on the first. It's not even on the first 3 rows. You have to scroll. It's not on the 4th. It's not on the 5th. See that? This is what I mean. If you have to scroll this much, it is definitely not. Oh my god! Right now it's only
371 viewers. So that's what I mean. This I still consider a Hunt to be actually a very niche, very like small to medium sized possible viewership, because those numbers are inflated. They're extremely inflated. One of the reasons why I hit 1 billion, I bet, is because CDN the Third was streaming a lot of Hunt for the past couple of weeks before the big Fortnite update and all that stuff. He was playing Hunt every day and bringing in sometimes 6,000 to 7,000 viewers to Hunt, which is not normal. It's definitely the top Hunt Showdown streamer that pretty much their main game is Hunt Showdown. His average is about 100 to 200 viewers.
Mhm.
that's kind of how I evaluate games, especially for streaming, is what is the top viewership for this game.
But you
And
also have to remember what time are you looking at it. Because
of
say, for example, when
course,
I'm streaming Hunt Showdown, which is usually later on in the day because
you have the American streamers on.
I'm fucked.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
are.
and
Yeah.
and they have a lot. Thank
Mhm.
you. They have a lot of just
Even the
people that hop
flies.
on only for them.
Even the-
Look, the flies are my biggest fan
No,
right now, I
even the
guess.
flies agreed with you there.
What, did they start getting angry?
They were like, They were like, For those of you on the audio only version, I'm rubbing my hands together.
Rubbing their hands together, nodding their head, licking.
Yep.
Oh, it's all the sexy things.
But yeah, it's if you're streaming that late, because we know we have, like, again, like a lot of the people in this community of, like, smaller audiences, we have a day job, which means that our streaming time is mostly at night, which, if we live in Europe, means we clash a lot with the big American streamers. Exactly. I suffer from the same. I took a very calculated decision and risk, I guess, with streaming Destiny again. It is really the only reason I'm streaming Destiny right now is because I enjoy it and I really like the game. But I know exactly, like you're saying.
I wouldn't expect you to be competitive. You're doing it
No,
at
of
nighttime,
course
so
not.
You're bringing yourself so much strife.
I am literally just doing it because if I'm not playing that game, I'm thinking about it, because it's at this moment, especially with Shadowkeep out, that's like one of the few games that I've been like extremely following for the past few years and excited about. It's like, it's one of my favorite games. So, if this expansion came out and I was streaming something else, it would not be real. You know what I mean? I would be playing something else, but thinking about, I want to play the new shit, you know what I mean? So that's the only reason I'm doing it.
That's it for me and Hunt. Yeah. That's why I haven't stopped streaming Hunt for the past.
Yeah, because you're enjoying it, and I
played it once. I loved it. Want to play it.
That's part of the equation, I guess. Like, it's like, it's something about, yes, you want to grow your audience, you want to grow your stream, but at the same time, you don't want to have to suffer for it, right? And if there is something that you like to play, but it's saturated on Twitch, I think you do yourself a disservice unless there's an equally like game that a game that you equally want to play. So, like, that it matches on terms of your enjoyment of it, right? That's not in detriment of the other. Because for me right now, I got to say, there's nothing that I want to play more than Destiny 2. You know what I mean? Like, there's not another game that I could think, maybe I can play Destiny 2 on my off time, and then, which I don't have a lot, but fair enough. And I just stream something else, right? There's not a game that I can think of right now that I would be like wanting enough to play to stream it. So that's why I'm stuck. But it's not going to last forever. Again, the Destiny cycle, it's like an MMO. It's a Destiny cycle of everything's new and exciting, and the raid will come out tomorrow, and there's a lot of new content and new activities coming out. But then by like 2 to 3 months, it's gonna fizzle out a little bit. So we're gonna return.
I'm gonna be
normal.
real about it for a second.
Yeah,
it's streamers like you that is the reason why that bandwagon gets so big. Because I mean, you were excited about it on Twitch.
Oh yeah,
and that was getting me super fucking pumped for it. I wanted to play Destiny again, but then when I started watching it again, I realized why I don't like playing Destiny, because it's just run around, kill, go do something. You're confused about this. Run around, kill, go do something. You're confused about this. Run around, kill, go do something, and you use the same weapons over and over and over. Where with something like Borderlands, it's chucking so many guns at you. You're like, I can change this out for this, and now fire works better on the fuck face that wants to get shot in the butthole. Like, it's it's.
I understand that. I still find a lot of enjoyment in it. It's it's a super decent. Not to derail our talk about streaming, we'll go back to that, but because I want to talk about Destiny 2 as well. To me, it's just in very small description. For me, Destiny is a really feel good shooter. Like the feeling that treasure, that like hidden secret that all FPS developers want to reach, which is I want to make these guns feel good to shoot, which is like almost ethereal in nature, very hard to achieve because it's a mixture of very different things. Destiny has that. Destiny makes you.
I fully agree with that.
Makes you feel like very good when you shoot a lot of the guns in that game. So that kind of what pulls it for me. And there's a lot of different things about it. But yeah, I enjoy it. But coming back to our talk about...
Actually,
oh, sorry, go
just
ahead.
a tiny point on that.
Yes.
The only game, and this is no joke, the only game that I've found that has played that perfectly has been and will always be, and I'm going to say this now, Overwatch. Oh my God, because the guns are bound to the people. You can see when Mercy holds out her pistol, she has to hold it with two hands out at a full extension. And even when she's firing it, you see that little bit of kick. When she's standing still, she does nothing other than a slight waver, which is perfect to her character. When Junkrat, my boy Junkrat, is standing still with his gun, you see twitching, you see the wheel of the gun making his hand shake up and down. You see a full character just in the holding. Works perfectly for the character.
I think that's,
in Zarya's gun, you can feel the weight in it. If you've ever held a full barbell on your side, you know that when you move it, it moves like that, where it's not something that you can move quickly. That is an amazing gunplay. That is the kind of those are the kind of ideas that I get when I think of if these guns were real.
I think that's different though, because that, as you said very expertly, it's tied to the character.
Yes,
Destiny,
it's completely character.
Destiny, unfortunately, is an MMO, so like your character is part of this world, but it's not individualized. It doesn't have a personality. It doesn't have, you know what I mean? It's like a blank slate that you can fill, right? But Overwatch is all of these characters reek of personality. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we've got to know them for years now. And yes, they exuded the personality onto the guns. That's why it makes you feel so personal. So I agree with that. Actually, Overwatch in that aspect is and feels really good to play, because the gunplay makes you feel connected to the character. And I think that's also something that a lot of games kind of struggle with. And yeah, I totally agree. That's a great example. But coming back to what we were talking about, streaming.
Yes.
Yeah, I was part of I actually, and you almost weren't a part of that, which is a shame. But I was part of that. Another indie, an indie developer called Another Indie, which is like a big. They did a little bit of an event where they invited a bunch of they invited a couple of streamers, and that was my first
an advertising campaign, basically.
Yeah, basically they had a huge sale on Steam for pretty much all of their published games, and they wanted some growing or emerging streamers, notice I didn't say the word, to kind of help them out with that effort by streaming. What are you doing?
I spilled coffee on my fucking white t-shirt.
Sorry, folks. I just looked over at Sumkat's camera and he was wiping his nipples, and I was just like, okay. This is for the audio,
getting
folks.
the cream off. Sorry, I forgot.
Sorry, we talking about Overwatch and I started lactating.
I need a bit more milk in my coffee.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Oh, Jesus.
It spilled up on me when I spilled it.
Anyway. I hear it's sweet. So they had this little bit of a content creator campaign, which is really well run. It was really a pleasure to be a part of, and that was the first time I actually was able to participate in something like that, and I got to know a lot of different streamers that I didn't know, which was also really cool about that. So it was a great experience. Streaming on Steam was really weird. The audience on Steam is vicious, dog. They don't give a shit. Oh, dude, they just come in and roast you, but not like a friendly roast like on Twitch. It's just like, why are you playing this shit? Why are you not playing Dark Souls? Why are you? Or does this game have more weapons? And I go like, no. Oh, fuck this game. And it's a very different audience for sure. But and also again, I don't know how Steam directly, like the streaming on Steam works in terms of the back end, but those viewer numbers are incredibly like inflated, I think. Or not inflated, but it's hard to understand. So for example, when I was streaming Sinner, which is like that Dark Souls like game, I had on Steam only, of course, I had about an average of 1,068 viewers on Steam. But Steam is technically not like Twitch, right? It's a store, and I was being displayed on the store page. So I wonder if there's like aggregating websites or other platforms that pull info from Twitch that might count as a viewer, because my chat was not blowing up.
Yeah, really, something you have to remember is a viewer is going to count as somebody that's on that product page.
Exactly.
That's not necessarily looking at your stream.
Exactly.
But it's
That's what I
looking
think.
at the page of streams.
That's what I think. It's really.
So it's a game view rather than your viewers.
Yeah, it's puzzling. You know what I mean? Like, it was hard to understand because technically I only had 10 to 12 people speaking on the Steam chat, so it was very hard to understand. But yeah, those numbers are definitely inflated. But other than that, it was a pleasure doing that. It was really good to stream with those folks, and I look forward to doing it again. And I hope you can get in as well, because I think you are a perfect fit for that crowd. So I know that.
Why? Because I look like a skinhead. What are you trying to say?
Yeah, exactly. Oh shit, I can't play any memes now. Wait, I can't. That's it. That's the one. But yeah, so I hope that I hope you get in soon.
I mean, I was looking at it, and even the games that you were playing were very interesting.
Oh yeah, especially
but they weren't
Sinner.
Grab my attention.
Sinner was
specifically.
Sinner was great. It played really well. The thing was, and I didn't know about this, but I thought that the game is just a boss. It's a Dark Souls, plays like a Dark Souls, but it's a boss rush mode. So that means that there's no levels. You just kind of go into boss fights, which to me actually is appealing, because Dark Souls is great, but you got to be honest. The highlights of Dark Souls are the boss fights, right?
They are.
This game kind of just drops you right in, and I have to be honest. It felt good to not have to go through the rigmarole of like completing a level or exploring the world to get to a boss fight. Even though I do love to do that in Dark Souls, there's a lot of stuff to discover. There's a lot of environmental storytelling, but sometimes you get ambushed and it gets frustrating, and you die 3 or 4 times before you get to the boss again. Like, it tends to be very frustrating. This game is just like, bam, right in there. You just teleport in, you're in a boss fight. I found it kind of refreshing, to be honest. And it played really well. Like, it controls really fluidly. It feels responsive. It felt really good to play.
Really nice.
It looks really nice. It has a good aesthetic. And the one thing I didn't know, and I'm kind of looking to maybe play it again, is once you finish the actual game, once you kill the last boss that I wasn't able to kill, which is like a copy of myself, it's like a Dark Link, you can go back to the game and you can start unlocking the weapons, some of the weapons that the bosses use. So, for example, you can unlock the dual short swords from that cold mistress, like the Lust character. So, like, there's more stuff to do in that game that I had no idea about. It was go ahead, tell your lustrous jokes. Definitely that game has some more depth to it that I didn't know about. But yeah, it was good. Otherwise, it's just been Destiny, and I've been looking at some games that I think you might also find maybe interesting to stream. I don't know if you've heard of. There's a developer that makes these really cool looking PS1 era horror games. It's kind of incredible. I'm trying to find what they're called.
Sorry.
Because they have a weird name. I can't find them. Shit, I should have prepared for this. Just give me a second. Talk amongst yourself.
So yeah, back to streaming the big games. I think the worst thing about it is these are games that I really want to play, but there isn't any viewership, especially at the times that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Say, for example, in Hunt, last night, I had an amazing time at Hunt. I had an absolutely amazing game. I went in as a solo. I went in as a free character that I won one game before, and I didn't change any of the things. I ended up killing 2 people. It was an incredibly slow game, but it was intense. I couldn't read chat whatsoever, so I saw my view count dwindling. But at the same time, I didn't care because I wanted to play the game so bad. And that's something that really dragged me in, because that's what Hunt is to me. It's this strategically fucked up little mess of a game that's trying to keep this aesthetic that I absolutely adore. So I wanted to keep on playing it. And I did keep on playing it, even when I died. I got a little bit tired after a little while because there's been a lot of stuff going on in my life currently. But I know, even though my viewer count was suffering, I saw that my viewers are having a bit of fun.
Of course.
And I like that. I like that. I didn't care about the viewer count. I was having fun with the viewers that I had, with my proper viewers, my regulars, and I was having a load of fun in the game, which is everything to me. That is just everything.
That's 100% of why you would that's why you enjoy it, right? And I
Yeah.
agreed to that. Okay, I found it. I'm gonna show it to you. This I don't know if this is a team or if this is a solo developer, but this is just, it's called Puppet Combo. These guys make these really, like, it's incredibly looking, because to me this feels exactly like a PS1 game, that was made today. It's kind of incredible. They have a couple of games already out. They unfortunately are not yet distributed on any platforms. Like they're looking to put their first game on Steam called Get Out of the House, and I'm gonna see if I can get like a quick video of one of these games just to show you guys. They're on Patreon, so so there's that. Let me try and see if I can show this really quickly. I can't. Never mind. There's not a good.
Anyway,
there's not going to.
The one that you sent me here,
Yes.
the glass staircase.
Yes.
Okay, I get the vibe, but it still feels a lot more polished than a PS1 game.
Of course, it's not like they never. It's as they describe it as an homage, right? It's.
I love it.
It's so that they're using a little bit of that of today's technology in a 3D world, or a 3D design world, that they can actually bring into these games. But the feeling, the aesthetic, the audio, it all just feels like very, very deliberate, and I love that. And I've been looking at these games, and I think I might try to stream some of these games during October, because it's the spooky month. I hate doing that because everybody's doing the same, but I wasn't gonna do it, but then I found these guys, and I'm just like, this is so unique. You know what I mean? This is so unique that I think I might just give it a whirl. Puppet Combo, for those of you who did not hear us in the first bit, the developer is called Puppet Combo. Check them out on Twitter and Patreon, patreon.com/Puppet Combo. You can see a couple of those games there, and if you decide you want to play them, you could just become a patron, and I think you can get access to all of their games for like $10 or something. So
going through it now, I actually realized they made a game which most of you actually might know.
Which one?
Dusk. It's kind of like Doom, but it is completely satanic.
Dusk. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I watched a good few channels play it. Specifically, Funhouse played it. They're a big channel.
Okay.
But they played it and they were ripping it. But then they were saying, this is actually a very good game. We should take a look at it.
Oh, I see a bit of it. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, this definitely looks like Doom. This is great. Huh, interesting. I never saw that. It's these guys are very interesting. I think they're doing a very unique thing that I definitely want to support, and also support by streaming it and showing off their games. So I'm definitely going to see
it's kind of the same thing that how when fucking shitty movie producers made the constant bad horror films. You know that.
Yeah, I know
kind of time.
Yeah.
It's repeating the same thing, but this is repeating that same old kind of stuff, but at a higher level.
Yeah.
So it has the good game ingenuity, but it still has the style and feel of what we loved.
Exactly.
And okay, I will admit, sorry, I'm toting myself as somebody who understands. I've never played the PlayStation 1.
Oh, okay.
I'm a PlayStation 1 virgin. Never. And I doubt that I will be able to, because I'm not able to get my hands on one.
Can we get a moment of silence for Sumkat? He never had the chance to play one of the greatest consoles in the history of video games. I have to say it's probably one of my favorite generations, and I might be a little bit biased because I grew up with it. You know what I mean? It's very, very intrinsically tied into my childhood, so maybe I'm biased, but I would say there's a lot of good games on PS1.
I'm looking at it, and it looks cool, and I like the look of PS1 games.
You should try some out.
I would love to. I just can't buy a console right now.
Actually,
talking about buying things.
Yes.
I have a bit of news. Okay, first of all, I'm ingesting too much caffeine and too much sugar right now.
That's never a thing. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna start dying. I am in talking with a website that sells computer parts in Ireland that I only found out about a while ago, called Complete. I'm asking them if they'll sell me a 3900X on installment pay.
Why
I'm
do
gonna
you
be a
need that?
cheeky boy.
Why do you need that?
I want to move to a single PC stream setup, and also I
Why?
want to. But if I do, I want to have it as a PC that will last me a long, long time.
Okay, this is a good topic as well. Like, why do you? Because you right now you're on a 2 PC setup, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
and
and
it's
you want to
causing a
go.
lot of hassle for me.
What kind of hassle?
Because my main monitor is a 1440 165 hertz monitor.
Uh huh.
When I stream, I have to dumb that down to 60 hertz at 1920 by 1080. That causes an excess strain on my GPU, and also I have to double the screen of my main monitor while being scaled down as a double monitor setup. One going to 60 FPS capture card. And if it's anything over that, if the game even refreshes to something else, or if the game realizes, this is a 1440p monitor. Oh, you have extra frames? Or you have extra hertz on that? Okay, let's boost this a little bit. It does that, and then it fucks up everything else on the other computer.
Okay.
I found out I don't know if you were there for it. There was a burning smell coming from my streaming PC a while ago.
No.
And I opened it up saying, what the fuck is this? I stopped stream. I couldn't stream anymore. I opened it up. My connector between the HDMI port and the main board on it when I opened it up was actually fried completely.
Jesus.
And I looked at it, I was like, oh shit, this is really bad. This is when I was thinking of, maybe it would be a good idea to upgrade it maybe in the far future. And then this happened. I soldered it back together. It's working fine, but it does kind of glitch every now and again. I hit my computer once by accident with my fucking knobby ass elbow, and it completely fucked it up again on stream. Stream just disconnected completely.
Wow.
So I'm just having multiple problems with it. And if I were to upgrade at all for a new capture card, it would have to be an external capture card that can record 1440 and do over 60 hertz, because I'd want to get the most out of my main monitor. Also, when I stream for games on that, just one more point, sorry.
Okay.
When I stream for games on that, it dumbs down everything to half the frames that I could possibly get. And I don't know why my GPU does this, but on Hunt, I get usually about maybe 240 frames per second. And that's a constant when I'm streaming offline on 1440p at that fucking fly. But when I stream on that, then it dumbs it down straight away to 90 frames, 60 frames. I'm not getting the proper refresh rate. I'm getting constant screen tearing in every game I play, and I can't play most games at full screen.
What capture card are you using right now?
The AverMedia Pro Gamer Pro 2 or Pro Gamer 2.
Because I was gonna say so in my example, I have a 2 PC setup. I have a 144 hertz main monitor, but my capture card is an Elgato 60 Elgato HD60, which is the internal one, the PCI Express one that only captures.
Mine is internal as well.
It
Actually,
only
I'll open it.
Yeah, mine also only captures at 60, right? So immediately when I started thinking about my setup, I was like, I'm going to have a problem. I'm going to have to play at 60 frames, which is a shame because I love playing at a higher frame rate because to take advantage of my monitor. I kind of hate that I'm going to have to dumb it down for the stream. Apparently, you don't. There's a feature on NVIDIA control panel where you can... Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's not a thing for us.
I know, I'm sorry. But on NVIDIA, maybe there's something similar. But on NVIDIA control panel, you can clone your monitor and apply limitations to it. So and that's what gets captured by the capture card. So to give you an example, I'm playing Destiny at 120 frames per second at 120 hertz on my main monitor, but my capture card is only capturing it at 60 frames, 60 hertz. And sending that out to OBS. So there might be a solution like that for AMD. I'm not completely sure, but that's kind of what I have to do. And
I was looking for such a long time. I have not been able to find anything on it.
Then maybe you either swap back to a 1 PC setup, which I think is detrimental depending on the game you're running. Because I don't trust a 1 PC setup just because of the fact that some games can be very demanding, and I don't like to limit myself to what games I can play. Because of that, because for example, I tried to stream some VR a couple months ago, and due to how VR is kind of set up, I tried to stream it on 1 PC only, on my streaming PC to be complete, and it was chugging a little bit. The game was suffering because of the streaming at the same time, and I hate that experience. I hate that my stream suffers if I'm, if I'm just streaming on one PC. So that's why immediately I decided to. When I started streaming, I decided I need a 2 PC setup, so I never have to worry about how demanding this game is, because the stream will never be affected. At most, my computer might not run the game really well, but that's a thing that all PC gamers can understand. But at least the stream will be unaffected by it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough. But
I guess it's kind of difficult. It's a difficult kind of thing to understand. I don't know. And also, there's my little card. There's my little AverMedia card.
Oh,
do you want to know something fucky that really pissed me off?
Yes.
I bought this I built this PC. Do you want to know how much this PC cost me?
It's time for what grinds my gears. What's up?
Do you want to know how much this fucking PC cost me?
How much?
€200, because I'm a fucking good boy at saving money. This is from my first PC, this power supply. This fucking graphics card I got for free. I found it actually in a bin. And the most expensive thing was the motherboard. I spent €300 on the motherboard, and this is a case that I actually got from a friend. Fuck. I wasted so much money on this. It would have been better just upgrading my main PC, but I was too stupid at the time. And okay, sorry, no, actually that's incorrect. I spent €300 further on the fucking AverMedia capture card, and you wanna know, this is where it fucking gets annoying. The next month, they brought it down to €50 on a fire sale, and then the price went down to €100 from €300 on Amazon.
How long was that between when you bought it and when it went on sale?
It was a month.
Oh, a month. After. Ah, fuck. Because sometimes if it's like a day or two, they won't give you the money back. You're like, hey, come on, dude, I just bought this 2 days ago, and now you have a sale. They sometimes will give you the money back, but a month, I don't know. Wow, that sucks, dude. I was laughing because of your
pissed me off so much.
Your energy. I was not laughing at your pain.
More of that. Okay,
I just love it when you get all
on an offline. I'm gonna get into DMs really quickly.
Okay.
So Muful offline says, Kat, the best thing about streaming Sea of Thieves with you is when you get angry, you're fucking hilarious. Yes! I'm like, well, what the fuck do you mean? I'm actually getting angry here.
I'm not the only one. I love when you get, and in any game, it doesn't need to be Sea of Thieves. When you get kind of pissed off, you just become this machine. And I swear to God, dude, it's so funny to watch you rage. It's so funny. This is why you should be a YouTuber too, because I think your explosions are so fucking funny, man. Can these flies? I'm just channeling Sumkat. Did you see these flies, chat? You fucking see these flies. Do you understand what I'm dealing with here?
Sasa was commenting on them, just like, what the fuck was flying by?
Dude. I have 600 flies in my, and I showered. I swear, it's not me.
He's that much of a stinky boy.
I'm not. It's just,
you are.
There we go. Oh, see, I have my assistant here, chat. Welcome, my assistant. Can I need that song. You know that song that plays? It's my assistant here to kill the goddamn flies. Thank you, baby. They're all over. I don't know.
I love it how she came in ready for business. She was like,
yeah, she's like fucking fly swatter in hand. But you see this now? They're all gone. They're there. They're hiding. They're all gone. I'm sorry. We just derailed this fucking podcast. I'm sorry. They're so smart. Okay. I swear.
You know what? For anyone that's been on my stream for the past 2 weeks as well, you'll realize I've been having huge problems with a pest of my own.
A pest?
Yes. Mice.
What?
Oh my God. I fucking got a clip of one running behind me. It was so annoying.
Is this real?
And I caught 2 mice on stream. 2 mice.
Wait,
okay, and here where it gets fucky. Here where it gets fucky. So I killed all the mice. I'm a fucking good boy. I've killed 7 mice in total now. No more have stepped in my traps for the past 2 days, unless you consider me a fucking fat rodent. Now, I woke up 2 mornings ago because there are fucking boy racers going around the fucking village there, and they were going and out my fucking window, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, man, it's fucking 2 in the morning. I'm trying to get some sleep here. You fucking cunt. Anyway, I have the mousetrap set up. I'm fine. I go over and check the mousetrap because I'm up now at 2 o'clock in the fucking morning when I'm trying to fucking go to college the next morning. I have to be up at 6 o'clock. I get no fucking sleep. So anyway, I look at the trap. The trap is set. It's grand. I reach over. I'm about to close my window, and I think, no. I need to keep the air going. It's grand. Hop back into my beddy boys. I get all snuggled, wuggled up. I fucking fall back into my wonderful shallow sleep. Then, motherfucker, my dog starts barking out the fucking back at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I realize, oh, fuck, if I fucking get up now, I'm not going to be able to get back to sleep. So I go over and close the window. I fucking step in one of the fucking mouse traps. So I'm sitting there in bed and I'm like,
oh no,
with my feet fucking cold and my toe hurting, I'm not going to be able to get back to sleep.
Is it one of those old-timey Tom and Jerry
I'll
snap? Oh, wow. Is that correct? Oh, my God. I cannot imagine stepping on a mousetrap at 5 a.m.
Presentation here. And if you're squeamish, make sure to stare because I want you to fucking stir. Now, this is the first one.
Oh, it is?
As you can see, there's wonderful little blood patches and excretion patches on it.
Jesus.
Now, this is the second one. This is the one that I stepped on the first night. This one is actually a very old mousetrap, and there's a little barb on the end there for the clapper. Do you see this little black spot there?
Yeah.
So that went into my toe, and I was just thinking, okay, I'm either going to catch typhoid or fucking Whelan syndrome now from cat piss or rat piss. And then it gets worse because I stepped on that 2 days ago. I wake up this morning and I'm getting ready for this fucking podcast with Eglorian. I go over to close my fucking window and I end up stepping on this mousetrap now. There's no fucking saving my feet. I can't. I set up these traps. I'm a fucking massive rodent apparently because the only thing it's working on is my fucking toes.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. That sounds like a fucking movie. You sound like you need to start wearing some steel-toed boots around the house. That's what you need to do.
Clean your damn room. It's a mess and less places to hide.
I don't.
My room is clean.
I don't think it's that. It's just that mice are just a pest, and you have to be very careful because you can have a couple of them come into your house for no absolute reason. It's just it just sucks. Eglorian. I'm sorry to hear that, man. What's up?
We have an update. Give me a second. I need to bring it on stream.
Oh no! Is this a mice update? Guys, since we kind of caught these Sumkat caught these mice on stream, can we consider them gaming mice?
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Sorry.
So I have this little tower. These like little. I have my sachets kind of divvied out for what sachets I'm going to eat during the week for breakfast.
Sachets? Oh! I mean, you like packets, packets,
I looked
right?
over at them. I'm actually gonna cry.
Oh no! What?
I looked over at them. I ate my fucking sachet packet this morning. There's a fucking hole in this one from a mouse bite. There's another mouse in my room. I'm gonna cry.
Can you not get those, those traps that are actually like supposed to just kind of, it's like a little house and then they go in there and they get trapped in there and you can just let them out, something like that?
No, we live on a farmhouse.
Oh, so that explains a lot. That explains a lot. That makes a lot of sense then. It's not about your room being messy. That's just I'm sorry, chat. For those of you watching this live, for those of you listening to this later on, I am very sorry that you're not able to enjoy the visual experience that is my wife behind me trying to kill all these flies. This will be up on Sumkat's YouTube, so maybe you'll be able to check it there. For those of you on audio, we're very sorry.
But also for those of you on audio, I'm so glad that you allowed us to grace your ears with our
that is true
chords and my fucking melatonin vacated rages. Thank you very much.
Bye, baby. Thank you. Also, I don't even know what we were talking about. This is the beauty of podcasts. We started talking about streaming and we ended up on mice. This is. Oh man, but yes, I mean this is great. I was gonna say that my last 2 weeks, we were talking about our last 2 weeks since we did the last episode, like what our stream's been like. I've had a good time. I have been streaming in the past few days Destiny, which is not very good for viewership, but I feel like people have been enjoying it anyway. They enjoy watching me try to understand what the fuck is going on, because with any expansion that comes out, there's a lot of new things that you kind of have to get your mind around. I was looking forward to be part of the zeitgeist of a day one. So the Destiny 2's raid, the new raid, comes out on Saturday, so tomorrow. And it's always like a race. There's always like a race to world first, and you always see the big streamers, teaming up and going at it, which is great. It's a great event. But as with everything, you can also try it and try to get like a day one, what they call a day one clear, which is like an MMO. So like if you clear it on the day it comes out, it's like, yay, I did it. An achievement of some sort. And I wanted to try and do it, but it's mostly for people who have the week off to grind to get to the appropriate power level. Yeah. But it's still going to be exciting to watch. It's still going to be exciting to watch. I was looking forward to be a part of the race, but I didn't manage to get a team in time. But I think I'll still be able to get a week one clear with my buddy Jimbo. So we'll see. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to streaming some other things for sure. I mean, I'm having a great time with Destiny, but I really want to get back a little bit to the kind of games I was streaming. I really was having a good time streaming some old games like PS1 games and all that stuff. So I think I'm gonna, once I am like a little bit more on like Destiny runs its path and I start feeling like something else, I'll definitely go back to that. So yeah, it's been a good time, but I think it's it's going to be time in a bit to kind of move on to some other things. And there's some interesting games coming out. There's a lot of good games that are going to come out that are going to be really hard to not get into. Talking about, for example,
DMs again.
Huh?
I've been having a DM war with one very good streamer friend of mine.
What's about?
I haven't streamed with them in a while, but it's because, and they're giving out to me, not in the actual, I hate you way, but it's more so in a I hate you way. Because I've been streaming the same games a lot, and I've been streaming very varied games and single-player games, which I never do before. I've never done.
Right.
Because I wanted to start moving towards the single-player games rather than playing them offline. I play them here. And the thing about it then is that I couldn't play with them. And they were saying, oh man, you have to join me in Rainbow. You have to join me in Rainbow. So it's grand. I said, I will join you in Rainbow soon. But the problem with it is I don't want to stream Rainbow. I don't want to stream those games. And also the big difficulty with it right now is I have so many games to play right now. I actually don't want any new games. Well, I want new games, yeah, but I mean, I don't need them.
Yeah,
I picked up Overwatch again.
Exactly, which is, I saw you playing that and I was like, wow, that is, I didn't even know you were into that game. Like when I met you, you were kind of like, I thought of you as a Rainbow Six streamer because you mostly stream that, but then I understood that in reality, you're a variety streamer. You're kind of like me in a sense. Like I like to call myself a variety streamer. Whoa, what's with that zoom? Suddenly?
I'm not into Rainbow Six Siege. I'm not.
You're done. You're just done.
I'm not into Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh, that is okay. Now we understand.
Right.
But yeah, and then I was, oh wow, they're so close. I love it.
It's so low frame rate.
It's so low frame rate. But yeah, then I was a little bit, I was like, oh wow, he's playing Overwatch. And I watched a little bit of you playing it, and that game's still the same. That game to me still looks the same. I haven't played it in forever. Fair enough. But what do you feel like? Because to me, again, from an outsider's perspective, Overwatch to me felt like there was a huge boom with it when it came out, and then it quietly stepped into the background. And then I believe, and my feeling is that Blizzard tried to bring it back up again with the Overwatch League, but it never quite took off. And I feel like it kind of, there is a very very vocal community of fans of Overwatch that still play the game daily, follow the game, have their favorite streamers, and it's still a market there. But to me, from someone who has stopped playing the game, I feel like it's disappeared a little bit. You know what I mean? Is that what you feel about it?
I think now more than ever, actually, the player base is as strong as it ever has been. But oh my fucking god, I remember why I hated it so much last night.
Here we go.
Okay, again. I stopped streaming it. I stopped streaming it because I couldn't stand it anymore. But the people on my team, hey! So I would talk in chat, and then it would be the usual response of, "Oh my god, that voice is so good." So I was grand with that. That was all grand and all. It's day to day. But then it came to the fucking same people that play the cutesy characters, and they spam voice lines like winky face, and I'm like, shut the fuck up! I can't mute this in settings. This really is driving me fucking insane.
Oh, I love this. I love it.
Oh, it's not even that they're toxic. It's just that they're mentally incapable for the most part. They're worse than fucking CS:GO. For CSGO, it's the tryhards that shout
is true.
profanities and racial
Yeah.
slurs at you.
Yeah.
For Overwatch, it's the people that think they're awfully cutesy and ditzy, playing these little girls and boys in games, and they go, haha, lol, so funny, so relatable. Boy, you probably fucking drinking Red Bull out of a shoe right now.
Doing a Red Bull shoey. Perfect.
Sammy Pond, there's so much porn about it because they make the characters look so alluring.
Appealing.
I'm not gonna lie. Zarya and Reinhardt, my crush. I'm not gonna lie.
I ship it. I fucking ship it. Zarya could pick up Reinhardt just the.
I'm not even messing. I thought about one of my inspirations to get back into gym when I was in sixth year.
Okay.
Was thinking about
we dodged the
Zarya.
bullet there. Now we're gonna get into some fan fiction. Oh Jesus!
No. God no, fuck. But no, just thinking about that, because just seeing that kind of power and also being so engaged with the actual game while I was in sixth year made me think, God, I'd love to get back into gym. And then I was going to gym every night for an hour or half an hour every night.
Picture of Zarya in your
stapled in my mind.
Exactly.
And also stapled on my nipples. It's better than a t-shirt. You know, you're airing out yourself as you go.
Oh yeah. That's perfect. But yeah, okay. And we have some people in the chat vocalizing in favor of Overwatch that it's still very fun, and I believe it. I just haven't played it, but in the eye of, like, let's say, like, the overall games community in general, it feels like Overwatch has died down a little bit ever since, like, I don't know, 2 years ago or something. But it's good to know that it's still a very enjoyable game. I might consider playing a little bit of it, but
it would be more enjoyable for me if I could mute.
I know what you're saying.
Talking.
I stopped playing Overwatch because it was a game that got me to be very competitive and very ragey, and I didn't like that about myself, so I stopped playing.
Come to the dark side.
No, I can't.
Please come back. We need more.
Can't. I swear to God, there are few games in this world that make me rage so hard, and Overwatch is one of them. Overwatch, I swear to God, I think I threw my mouse at one point because of Overwatch, and that's about the point where I stopped. So it's not for me, dude. I love watching it. Okay. I actually love watching it. It's a really hard game to stream.
I can't stand to watch it.
I like to watch it. I like to watch it more than I like to play it right now, especially because I feel like it's one of those games that requires 120% of your attention. There is no way that I would be able to stream Overwatch because I wouldn't be able to pay attention to chat, to alerts, to anything else. It is so overwhelming. I feel a little bit autistic sometimes because it's just, there's so many things going on in Overwatch when I played it that I felt like if there was any outside interference that it would just throw me off, you know? So it's definitely not a game that I can stream because it is very hard, but it's good to know that they're continuously supporting it. I continuously see news about it and new champion. New hero. No, what are they called? Legends. Heroes. Thank you. It's weird.
Yeah, but that's a thing for me as well. But I mean, for me, I go on for crazes where I think the game is really cool and I want to play more because I like this aspect of it. I remember why I like the aspect of it exactly, and for me, it goes back to characters every time. For example, I stopped now. I was playing Siege religiously for 3 years, 3 years, and then I stopped. I only realized last night I played Overwatch for 3 years and then I stopped religiously. Now, when I say religiously, I mean I've never gone more than 5 days without playing it.
Yep.
And I've never gone under an hour per day playing it. And it was the same for me with Siege. I would not go under that. And I got all my hours from that. And I love Siege and everything, but it's just, it got too much to me, and it was too much for the repetitive stuff. And when you came across one thing, there was so much of it, you know, you get too evolved, and I became toxic. I became a lot more volatile, and that's why I am volatile now. And I know that I'm a volatile personality, but yeah, I have these crazes about games anyway. And I've been trying to dial back that volatility as well, in that I want to become more of a wholesome kind of a thing. I like changing myself. I believe in constant adjustment of the personality. I believe in it fully because when I was 12, I was a complete shut-in, and I hated so many people. I hated talking to people. I hated being around crowds. I would get anxious whenever I'd even go to the fucking stall to pee. You know, like I was a complete shut-in.
Right.
Also, if any of you wondered what that's called, it's called bashful bladder when you can't pee when somebody else is in the stall with you.
Bashful bladder. BB,
yeah.
you got some BBs.
I got some fucking BBs in me.
It's fucking hard. That's what it stands for in Death Stranding. Actually, the BBs, the babies are bashful bladders. The baby is actually just a personification of a bashful bladder.
Yeah,
that's why he bathes with it. It's weird.
But yeah, that's the thing. And I always loved then, as soon as I started doing it, to change myself, to become more outgoing, and to put on a face that is a lot more charismatic and enthusiastic.
Right.
It's easy when you get your head around just don't be embarrassed.
Yeah.
And then it feels a lot better. If I'm able to make somebody else laugh because I'm making a dick of myself, I'm going to be happy. And I found that when I started streaming, I was streaming fine. I was playing some chill music. I'd have my microphone up here. I'd be whispering. I'd be keeping myself really mellow. And then after a while, I said, this is fucking boring. So I started to try to change myself for that. I'm getting more bashful, trying commentating on the game as I'm playing it. That's when I started, I was watching XQC at the time before he turned into the smokeaholic idiot that he is now. But that was what I wanted to do. Seeing these bigger streamers, I said, I want to be a fusion of that. I want to take what I think is good. And then I started watching at the start of this year, I started watching a lot more Funhouse and Sergeant Santa, so I was watching a lot more edgy comedy.
Oh, Sergeant Santa, I love that YouTuber.
Fucking Sergeant, no, General Sam.
Get baited, Santa, get baited. Jebaited in chat, please. No, that makes sense.
Don't be bashful when it comes to portraying yourself on the internet, especially if you're playing a character. I'm getting to a stage now where I don't want to play a character anymore. Actually, that's something with you, Eglorian. I've never asked you because it is personal. And if you don't want to answer it now, it's fine. Do you feel that you play a character when you stream?
Not really. I thought about it in the beginning. So, okay, sorry. Let me back this up a little bit. One of the things that I love to do the most, and I do a lot of that with my friends when I'm playing games online before streaming and all that stuff. Before streaming became a thing for me. And this is something I do on stream, and people can confirm that. Like, I like to make voices. I like to come up with characters. I like to come up like both of us do that. Like, one of the reasons why I love streaming with you is because we are on the same wavelength when it comes to coming up with dumb ideas and kind of creating backstories for things that don't have backstories and kind of running with it. And I feel like that's the most fun you can have playing games and streaming. So like, I've always had that a little bit in myself. Yeah. And before,
but the thing for me, I need somebody to bounce it off of and then to go.
I agree. If I'm doing it on my own, it's way harder. It's way harder to keep the flow. It is way better to bounce it off of someone, especially when you get a laugh off of the other person. That's that your brain sending the chemical to be like, hey, you nailed it, keep going, it's great. But yeah, I've always been like that. And before I started streaming, I actually thought, like, I think I might want to not stream as myself, but actually come up with a character and then play that. And I struggled with that a little bit, trying to think about what that would be, what that would entail, all that stuff. And I kind of fell back on that idea. And I said, no, you know what? Like, if this is, I want to really invest in this and kind of I want to have streaming become part of my life. So I don't want to have to struggle with not being myself throughout through that part of my day. So I decided against it. And instead, we do what we do, which is we come up with voices and we do dumb shit and we give names to things, and it's fun, but it still allows you to be yourself. So no, I don't think I play a character when I stream. That's me just maybe vocalizing a lot of the things that on a normal day, maybe I keep it inside my head. You know what I mean?
Actually, just thinking about it now, with the way I'm explaining everything and with the thoughts that I've had, I've almost become the character that I thought of back when I started streaming 2 years ago.
There you go.
I have become my own character. It's almost as if my character has consumed me. That's fucking weird.
Or that's who you were, and streaming just kind of helped you get it out there and see that people are comfortable with you being like that. Because that's kind of what it did to me as well. It's like
streaming helped me express myself so much.
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree with that.
When I started streaming, I've been saying it, and even now I'm saying it. everyone should stream. You will get to know yourself a lot more when you're streaming than you would before. Honestly,
I agree. When you put yourself out there, there's definitely some barriers that you shatter because you have to. Like, there's no other way. Like sometimes I dip into some people like streamers with like 0 viewers or 1 or 2, and I'm like, I feel like streaming is one of those entertainment.
Their fucking views. Sorry.
Oh,
what are you doing?
No. I'm saying like.
Are you meaning their views?
I'm saying. Shut your mouth.
That's so bad. You fucking whore.
I'm. Listen. Let me. No.
I'm doing a fucking full-on squat. This hurts.
A squat? Just hold it for 1 minute. Just hold it for a minute. So and sometimes and this is what I feel like watching some of those streams that have like very few people or no people at all sometimes. It's just like most of these streams sometimes don't have the person like the person that's behind the screens, because most of the times these streams don't have cameras or something like that. Like, you feel very disconnected. You know what I mean? Like, there's like, I feel like streaming is 100% a thing that, just leave the microphone in front of your head with the googly eyes. Perfect. It's no matter what people say. To me personally, no matter what people say, streaming is always about the person that's on that screen. And unless you allow yourself to come out and expose who you are to people, like, it's never very entertaining to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you're a guy who's just streaming a game with no microphone, no camera, do you know what I mean? Like, what are you God damn it. What are you trying to what are you trying to gain from streaming? Like, what are you trying to, because like, taking apart the whole thing about streaming being a totally viable financial stability solution for some people, like, putting that side apart, God damn it, streaming is I can't look at you like I can't look at you like this. This is ridiculous, dude.
What are you talking about?
Guys, this is professionalism. I'm sorry. This is professionalism.
Look, I spent €15 buying a fucking set of 200, or I think it's 1,000 actually. Googly eyes. It was well worth it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Look, my girlfriend still makes fun of me because I bought them, but
no. That's a worthwhile investment. Never fucking think about that in any other way. It's a goddamn investment.
This is my fucking googly eyes that.
But yeah, so besides all that fucking making money off of streaming that everybody wants to do, I mean, guilty right here, and you're guilty as well.
Who doesn't want to make money?
Exactly. Like, because it's a fucking fun job. Everybody wants to stream because it's a fun fucking job. You get to talk to people and play video games, or some people do different things, but most of the people play games. Fucking great. Who said hey, mom and dad in the 80s, you said playing video games are never going to achieve nothing? What about now? Well, but putting that aside, I still think that streaming is a great tool to kind of figure like you were saying, figure yourself out, kind of getting rid of shame and like self, what's the word? Like, when you're bashful, like you said, bashful, I think is a good word. Like, getting rid of that and kind of learning how to expose yourself and taking criticism, taking feedback, taking compliments, like all social skills that you need that sometimes people lack when they're like young and kind of growing in their 20s and whatnot. Streaming is actually a good tool to help you deal with that, because you are exposing yourself out there to people that sometimes you don't know. And learning how to navigate that, it's actually really good for the person, for your own good. So I think that's one of the reasons why I like to stream, because it's pushing myself to be a better person and to be also more empathetic, more sympathetic as well, even though that's not very good, but sometimes it's applicable. Like, it's just a great tool to help you grow. I think I've seen a lot of people that I've been following for years on Twitch kind of grow as a person, and that's actually really cool to follow. That's actually really good to see. Like, it warms my heart sometimes and be like, oh, look at this guy, like, he was, he grew up, you know what I mean? Like, that's really good to see for me. At least I love that.
I mean, one way that I can see that in myself is when I started streaming,
Mhm.
I was I was still my bashful self. I was a little bit timid. I had that kind of the bursts of charisma that I'd be able to do.
Mhm.
But now, because I think it's because I've been streaming for so long, or maybe it's a character development. And I know I will do this when I meet you when we go to TwitchCon. I'm going to have this explosive tenacity to not tenacity, explosive charisma to me because that's what happens.
Yeah.
It's the way my personality has developed, and I don't know if it's a bad thing. A lot of people view it as a bad thing. A lot of people hate me from the get go just because of it. But I seem rather intrusive when I talk, and when we're in a conversation, I would actually take over a conversation even without knowing it. I know my parents actually berate me for it. Even this morning at the breakfast table, they were making fun of me and berating me because what I constantly do is, and they've come onto the term which they're using incorrectly, is I do double speak. So instead of saying something the way it is, I go around the long way and making it a kind of a kind of a more convoluted way of saying the same thing that doesn't,
Okay. Okay. I get it. Yeah.
that gives a certain viewpoint on it. And in that conversation, then I'd always bring it back. I'd always bring it back. And I honestly think that's because I'm bad at describing. Anyway, when I'm in conversations, I would do that, and I get this energy.
You just described the thing. You just described the thing that your parents talk to you about that you do with that thing. This is fucking amazing.
But see,
Hey,
that's a bad thing.
I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good
I've
thing.
been thinking like that for so long, and
Yeah.
I find it really difficult to explain things.
If that's your way to explain things, then fucking do it. I don't see an issue with that. I actually like when people kind of, show you their train of thought, because that sometimes makes it easier to understand their point of view.
Actually, as a child, I loved doing this one thing, and it's where you'd say something
Masturbating.
like, okay, let's go with masturbation. Masturbation dildos. Then you can go on to silicone and how silicone is the same silicone in most dildos is used in the bottoms of vans, specifically vans. Vans have recently announced that they are running out of the actual plastic and polymer to make the soles of their shoes. That's a complete lie. So you could say it's a marketing ploy, and you can keep on going on and on. This is actually a train of thought thing.
How do you
And
know all these
this
things
is-
about this type of silicone that dildos use?
I know my spots.
I'm allergic.
I found out when I was licking my girlfriend's shoe last week and I blew up like a balloon. Anyway.
I broke out the rash.
But you see, it's all of these things, and there's what's the name of it? Oh no, I forgot the name of the fucking thing.
The silicone?
Okay. That thing. It's actually, there was a word made for it after James Joyce, who wrote when he was writing Dubliners, because in Dubliners you talk about a mid-story and then it skips ultimately to another person. It was said by Joyce that the reason he did this was because the story ended and it already skipped to somebody else. It's a way of describing a train of thought between the connections on somebody's thought, but it will be particular to one person. One game that I think was really fun and that I did as a child, and it may have come from, was that we would be sitting in the car and we would say one thing, then we'd say a thing that's connected to that. When I tried to explain to anybody how that conversation would work, they'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? That's weird."
How did you connect those two? How does that work?
Yeah, but they make full sense to me. If you say butterfly, I'm going to start talking about jade. One very interesting thing is the word jaywalker, and how jay is actually a racial slur, a bigoted slur for an Irish person.
Jay? Really?
Yeah, jay.
Shit,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you that.
Give a shit.
Like seriously, it's shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Jay is a bigoted slur for an Irish person.
Damn, I had a friend called Jay
by the people. Yeah,
in Dublin, and I was just walking around Dublin, being like, "Hey Jay, what's going on?" And it's fucking terrible. I didn't know this.
But say, for example, and also there can be names that become racist when they're applied to certain people. For example, it is actually racist to call a black person John, because people that would be working on the cotton picking plants would often be called John as rather than being given a name.
In America specifically, you mean?
Actually, it's a worldwide problem.
It's a worldwide thing.
Right,
okay, John.
Yeah. But that's the thing.
I thought
there you go.
I thought I've heard that, but I thought it was another name. But maybe it's John. I don't know. I'm not up on my racial slurs. I'm sorry. I've not been studying.
John was an incredibly general name, kind of given to all of them. But Jay.
Oh, it's kind of like John Doe. Kind of like
Irish.
John Doe. Like, you're a slave. I don't know your name. Fucking John.
Yeah,
fuck
exactly.
it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Exactly,
Okay, that makes
yeah.
sense. That makes sense. Yeah, we have that. We have that too in Portugal.
We have it in Ireland here. Okay.
It's Jay.
It annoys me so much. There was one woman in my work, and I kid you not, she would say, "Oh, the Poles." when she'd say the
For
Polish lad
Polish
that worked in
people?
the shop.
Oh, yeah,
Now,
that sounds
Oh
bad.
my god, these guys are fucking great. And besides, there are actually no, there's no Polish people working in the shop. So she'd call anybody Eastern Europe Poles.
Oh,
Absolutely
she's
fucking
just
horrible.
generalizing as well. Fuck that.
She is a piece of fucking trash.
Oh, yeah.
She's what we call here in Ireland a knacker.
A knacker?
That's a knacker. K-N-A-C-K-E-R.
Okay,
Knacker.
what is that? Like what is it?
What
Is
a-
that cracker white trash?
So the direct way to do that is a knacker is a itinerant or somebody who does not have a address or home address or is not on the itinerary.
Okay. Like a vagrant.
So you can tell by the way she sounds, by the way she talks, by the way she addresses herself and who she talks to. For example, she has no moral compass. So when a customer came in to complain about somebody who's doing the night shift, I'm good friends with the person who does the night shift. So the customer made the complaint directly to her, and then she started talking shit about the guy who does the night shift. And I just went over and I said, "Sorry, you can't actually do that. That's just bad etiquette. Don't do that." And she was like, "Oh, they're complaining anyway." So you're looking at them like, no, you can't just do that. You can't just do what you want. You don't just talk about somebody like that. Now, I know I'm doing it now, but it's for the sake of a explanation
just explanation of the thing. But
but poor etiquette comes with it. You know, I know I'm generalizing her even, you know. Is she older? Yeah, she is. And actually that's the thing. Because of when 2004, when Poland joined the EU and a lot of them came to Ireland and whatnot, they were viewed as just sending home money as remittance. Even at that, it doesn't damage the economy in any way, no matter what fucking conservative parties in Ireland say. But anyway, they were sending home the money. It's grand. We're a European Union anyway. The money comes back. Kind of. It bounces out anyway. What money is spent there and sent over, there's minor tax on it for here, and then it comes back in what's the name of it? You know, for developing countries. Did you know Ireland's still considered a developing country?
What?
Yeah.
How is that a thing? What?
It's because of our infrastructure.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. I guess I could see that. It's still not that bad,
Did you
though.
know when we lost independence, when we gained independence from Britain, do you want to know what the British did?
What?
They tore up every train line going to the north of Ireland, specifically Donegal, not Derry or Belfast, but Donegal. Donegal is to the northernmost part of Republic of Ireland. And it's only a little, like, the way that Ireland works is it comes up, here's the coast, and there's the border of Donegal. And then the coast goes out here, and the Donegal is huge. Like, Donegal is a very big county. So they completely tore up the...
They just separated it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we
salt
have
the earth kind of thing.
every one of them with shitty roads that haven't stood the test of time. We made it worse for ourselves.
Listen, this is what we do here too. Don't worry. Well, Portugal is also a developing country. I'm naming it now.
There you go.
I'm doing it now. Calling it developing country. Fuck it. Fuck it.
I want to also point out it wasn't only the British that did that. It was actually Eamon de Valera that agreed to it because they needed the iron for resell. And also for
it's like me when I go out to old buildings to steal the copper from the walls.
Yeah,
you got to make a buck, man. You got to make a fucking quick buck.
Aye.
All right. How about we talk a little bit about some of these interesting news articles?
I was just about to bring them up. Okay, so I think the most interesting one to start with is actually the IGN one on Baker.
I agree. So to give some so there's a bit of news came out. Mr. Troy Baker, which is a very well-known voice actor. A lot of you people probably know him. He played Joel from The Last of Us, for example. He played the main character of BioShock Infinite, which the name escapes me right now. And he's a very prolific voice actor in the gaming community. Booker, thank you. So he's very well known. He's a very talented voice actor. And he played a character in the Borderlands, Tales from the Borderlands called... I never played Tales of the Borderlands, so I don't know his actual name, but... Trey? No. What is this called? What is his name? Not Troy. No, Troy is the name of the person. I'm sorry, I never played this game, but Troy Baker he played a character in Tales from the Borderlands. Yes, Riz. Thank you, Fire Wrath. So Riz was a character from Tales of the Borderlands, which actually makes some appearances in Borderlands 3. Now, and then some people kind of noticed that he was not voicing, that Troy Baker was not voicing Riss. Unfortunately, Gearbox came out and said that you know, in a certain way, they made a public statement that kind of very summed. You could sum it up saying that Troy Baker didn't. You know, we're sorry that Troy Baker didn't accept our terms and decided to work with us, and you know, parted ways. We found a local voice actor. Blah blah blah. All good. And everybody thought that that was the deal. And then, and very recently on an interview, Troy Baker was actually asked about the situation, and he came out and said, actually, that's not the truth. The truth is that Gearbox did not accept my terms as a unionized voice actor. Troy Baker is a part of the SAG-AFTRA, which is the union that is responsible for a lot of voice actors. And if you are a voice actor which is registered in SAG-AFTRA in the United States, you're unionized, and that means that there's a certain amount of regulations that you need to follow. And when you get offered a gig, in the sense, there are certain expectations in terms of payment, and those apparently were not accepted by Gearbox themselves. Well, the reason why I think this is, and again, this has not been explored publicly because there's no info about this, but the reason why I think this is, you know, Troy Baker is right now, like, and has been for the last few years, probably some of the most sought after voice talent in the gaming industry. Outside of it too, he's been doing a lot of things outside of games, but in gaming, he's played some of the most like iconic characters and has become along with Nolan North, those two have kind of become like staples of voice acting in the gaming community. And so, you know, they're very sought after. And
just
because of that,
for a second.
yeah.
Here are a few of his pieces, and this is how I know everyone has heard his voice.
Oh yeah.
The Last of Us, he played Joel. BioShock Infinite, he was Dwight.
Dwight,
Batman
Booker
Arkham,
Dwight.
he was Jason. Uncharted 4, he was Samuel Drake.
Which is
so
the
he's playing a lot
brother
of lead roles.
Yeah, brother of Nathan Drake. Yeah.
It's amazing what he's doing.
Yeah, he's been the most prolific voice actor in gaming for the past 5 years. Not only because he's talented, but because like it was actually kind of weird at some point, like the last like 2 years or something, or 3 years, you would see like you would be playing a game and suddenly be like, I know that voice, and there's Troy Baker again playing some character in a different voice. And the same could be said about Nolan North. Like for example, when I was playing Last of Us, the first Last of Us. Nolan North is in that game. I don't know if you know this, but Nolan North plays let's say I don't want to say a minor character, but a character in The Last of Us. He's in Death Stranding, for example. Like, Nolan North actually plays a character in The Last of Us, but he has such a wide range that most people didn't know he was in it. But you know, both of these voice actors right now are probably the most sought after in the gaming community, which means one thing.
For gaming,
It means one thing. They're expensive. High demand,
now,
probably expensive. And I think the deal here was probably the wages that he was requesting as part of his union contract were maybe not what Gearbox wanted to pay. And we know this is the case because the news came out from Gearbox not giving like this is all connected because last few months before Borderlands came out, a piece of news came out that the original voice actor for Claptrap, who was a Gearbox employee, who decided to, they've actually done this a lot. Gearbox has unfortunately used a lot of their in-house talent that are not voice actors or voice actresses to kind of voice their characters, which, let's be honest, that saves them a lot of, it's very scummy. It saves them a lot of money, but at the same time, you're kind of taking away jobs from other people who actually work in this field. Anyway, they use this.
Also,
go ahead.
Can we point on, so I have it up in front of me here. Now, Gearbox did give out one statement, okay? And it was grand. It was just kind of a general kind of apology, dancing around. Also, I want people to take into account doublespeak, specifically doublespeak, because it's an amazing way of dancing around the subject without saying anything negative or anything against you. Now, that's fine. They didn't say anything directly that would be a connotation or a direct, account of doublespeak.
Right.
But I think Gearbox perfectly show their colors in the final final 2 sentences of the actual thing. Now, this is what really pissed me off, and I wanted to talk to Eglorian about it, but I wanted to save it for now.
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
You can read it off.
So,
you can read it off.
Okay, so as a talent-owned and talent-led organization, Gearbox enthusiastically works to ensure our pay and working conditions meet or exceed union standards. Now, that would be a little bit of doublespeak, you could say, because their standards might be actually really low. They may be setting their own standards for that. Yeah. And then here's where it really fucks everything that they said. Any kind of apology. I'm gonna fucking pull out my whip right here. I'm gonna fucking smack them on the head.
Do it.
Smack them on. I'm gonna shave their head and then fucking do a little.
Do your what grinds my gears, Sumkat. Do it.
Yeah. So they said, we also believe strongly in hiring local voice actors whenever we can, which is why we're thrilled Troy's career really took off after working with us. So they're giving themselves a fucking pat on the back and saying, hey, the only reason he's up there anyway is because we did it. We deserve him for anything. He doesn't matter. It's like,
granted, if that was true, I would be like, okay, but that's not even true.
But it relatively is. What he did in that did spring forward his career, but it wasn't everything.
Nope. His career took off after BioShock Infinite. Which was way that's what before Tales of the Borderlands.
My voice went there. Yeah. It wasn't everything, but it was something, you know?
Yeah, but that's such a shitty way to put it. They're like...
It's incredibly... But they're showing the true colors now, I think.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they've been showing their... There's been a Gearbox story that is kind of like this for the past 6 months, I guess. With Mr... what's his name? I don't even remember his name right now. Help me out, chat. I just flipped on his name. The CEO of Gearbox, Randy Pitchford, which is he's a character. And there's just been these massive PR disasters about Gearbox, which have not helped Borderlands in any way, even though it's selling like hotcakes. But yeah, and then this is just another kind of like, as you said, like another piece of news that kind of just puts a mirror in front of Gearbox, be like, hey, this is what your company is like, and this is how your company leads things. So yeah, this was very bad from both Gearbox and just in general from, I don't know what team, like at a certain point, everything seems to tie into, like, it feels like everything PR related seems to have a hand with, it seems that Randy might have a hand on it, because it all feels the same way. It feels like Gearbox has like a chip on their shoulder for some reason, like especially now that Borderlands 3 is out, it feels like they're very defensive of everything. So there's definitely the guy uses USBs with porn around. Exactly. Let's not talk about that. But yeah,
I don't know anything about this.
So that's what I mean. Like, Randy Pitchford, the CEO of Gearbox, has been involved in several counts of weird shit. He took, for example, a payment that a developer made to Gearbox of $12 million, which is considered an investment. And Randy took those $12 million for himself and transferred that money to his own company, not Gearbox. And he saw that as a payment to himself and not to not to help develop Gearbox. So that was very weird. And then there was a report that he left a USB with underage porn. Yeah, that's the sort of thing. That's what I mean. That guy is a PR nightmare, but somehow he's still ahead of, let's be honest, one of the most recognizable development studios in the world, Gearbox. Like, he's still the head, the CEO of that company. He still is. He was the one, after all of this that you've heard, he still went on stage at E3, or I think it was E3, to announce Borderlands 3. Not some community guy, not some of the people who actually deserve the credit, like some of the developers or project heads or something. No, fucking Randy Pitchford, I like to do magic on stage. That guy, he's still adamantly in front of that company in that game.
I'm not gonna lie, this fucking guy looks like the kind of guy to fall down on the ground, sniff a fucking shoe on the ground and say thanks, babe.
Yeah. Oh wow, yeah, that
Man,
actually describes it really well.
He looks fucking greasy as fuck.
He is the CEO because he is the CEO, and there's no ownership of.
What am I talking about? I look even worse.
No, you look like we talked about this. You look fine.
I look like a skinhead.
Exactly. Fucking, I'll take a skinhead any day over a Randy Pitchford. Oh, cue the rim shot! Cue the rim shot! But basically, yeah. There's people say, how is he still the CEO? It's because the company is not wholly owned by 2K or Take-Two or any other way. They are actually they're actually independent, and they have 2K and Take-Two as a publisher, but they don't actually own Gearbox. Gearbox is owned by Randy Pitchford and I think some other people, but he is the majority owner. So he's not fired because he owns the goddamn company. So it's a mystery, but that guy is still around, and it will. I bet you will continue seeing weird stories about Borderlands or Gearbox in the next coming months, because this does not seem to be over. They just like to put more lumber on the fire.
Okay, let's wait a little bit and say something good about Gearbox before we get fucking.
Okay.
The
game is great. Borderlands 3 is great. That's
Borderlands 3. It looks like a good game. You know, I really think that they polished it well. It doesn't seem dated in any way. I like it. I like the look of it.
It's from just as an outsider perspective, it does feel like maybe it's a little bit of a cop out. It feels like to me watching it. It feels like it is the game they didn't want to make. It is the game they had to make. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? Like it feels like they might have wanted to make something else, but they had to make Borderlands 3, because watching Borderlands 3, I failed to see why it took so long to develop. And that's why I'm saying that I feel like this is the game they had to make, and maybe the development of this game only started in the last 3 to 4 years. You know what I mean? But Borderlands 2 came out 10 years ago. It's just
smooth
it's just
transition
weird.
to a game that had to be made, Modern Warfare.
Oh, okay. I've not played it, but I've heard good things about Modern Warfare.
I've heard nothing but good, and when I watch people play it, I'm like, damn, I actually want to play that.
Did you?
I'm not even kidding.
Did you try it out yet, or
no?
Not
I
had the chance.
opted out of it, and I've been looking at it, and I said, damn, I want to play that. It honestly looks fun.
Do you mean specifically the multiplayer? Because I've heard great things about the campaign itself.
Campaign went to shit after Black Ops 1. Don't even get on my don't add me. Campaign went to shit for those games after Black Ops 1.
Okay.
I played Black Ops 2 campaign, and I was like, this is kind of boring.
Oh, I've stopped. I've actually not touched the Call of Duty ever since, I want to say, Modern Warfare 2. That was my last campaign that I played, and after that I kind of just never saw it again. But this game made me a little bit curious. I saw some videos of the campaign, and it feels like they went with a theme that may be interesting. I don't know. I wonder if I'm still going to check it out, but again, it's not really much in my wheelhouse. But it did.
Turning it over again.
Oh, and Dippet in the chat says something very interesting that I don't know if you were aware of, but actually one of the great new news in regards to games lately is that Call of Duty Mobile came out, and that's apparently really well thought out game. It is a free to play version of multiplayer Call of Duty for your phone. It's been doing gangbusters. I read today that they've, in the first couple of days, they've already had a record of 11 million matches played just on Call of Duty Mobile. And I've actually heard nothing but good things about the game. You know, they have the traditional problems as a free to play game on a mobile space. There's a lot of money sinks, but overall, I've heard that the game. I'm actually looking to try it, so we might be able to talk about it next episode. But I would urge you to actually check it out as well. It's free to play, so you can just download it and kind of check it out. And I'm curious what a Call of Duty plays like on a mobile phone. So yeah,
I haven't heard a single thing about it as well.
We're actually gonna. We should check it out and then report back. Definitely.
Honestly.
Yeah. Do you want to move on to our next piece of news that it's actually very intrinsic to what we do?
Yes.
I mean, not for me specifically. I think not to you as well, but so I want to say like a surprising bit of news came out this week.
Well, actually, just before you do that,
yeah.
The person who reported it was The Verge. I don't know what it is with the tech community currently, but they're all shitting on The Verge and they're making Verge jokes. I love it.
I don't
I'm not
keep
even
up with
gonna
that,
lie.
so I don't know about this.
Oh, it's so funny. When they're touching any part of a computer, they're saying we're not going to do a Verge on it. Our Verge would say 10 out of 10.
Oh, I know what it is.
Oh.
I know what it is. This is old though. I think
The
this is the Verge.
video is half a year old.
Yeah,
but
it's kind of
fucking
old.
hell,
It's
like,
them building a PC, and it was totally not good and not
it was
correct.
so bad.
It was
No,
very,
okay,
it was
sorry,
very
actually,
bad.
look at the image they have for that article. Actually, just before we get into it, can you show it on stream? Can you show
Yeah,
that image?
I think I
Why
can.
would you have a webcam pointing at your tits? And why is the microphone at that tilt? That doesn't make. That's a very poorly cropped in microphone. Now that I look at it, isn't it?
It's oh my god, it's very bad.
Look at it. Look at how bad it is. Oh my god. But look at that webcam. Look at the webcam on the tiny tripod. That's so bad. Look at
Hey, it's some top quality stuff. All right, it's some top quality stuff.
Oh my
But
god.
yeah, it's
And that
it's
close to your
great.
mic, you're gonna fucking hit it. Like
Also, it makes no sense because this is basically so. Okay, let's get into the news itself. Logitech
yes.
is buying Streamlabs. So Streamlabs, as some people know, is I think the biggest platform for streamers. That what the services they provide is, you know, alerts. They provide donation support. So like, for example, if you donate to me, or
OBS as well.
and then yeah, and now they also have a platform, sorry, what's it called? Not a split, but a fork of OBS, which is the software that a lot of people use to stream. It is open source. So a fork of it has been made by Streamlabs to kind of make their own version. It is very user friendly. A lot of people started using it. It has integration with their own alerts, donation, and chat services. So
it's kind of like Stream Elements 1.
It's kind of like an
Streamlabs.
all you need pack. If you want to start streaming, if you download Streamlabs OBS, you can kind of just start with that and not have to mess with anything else. It's very user friendly. It's one of the best best versions of OBS, and a lot of people have been using it. Myself, I don't use it because I like OBS Studio and using plugins and all that stuff, but it is a great solution for a lot of people. So Streamlabs has been doing bonkers. They've been doing a lot of things. They've been getting a lot of investment. They've been doing well as a company involved in the streaming world. And now suddenly Logitech made an offer to buy Streamlabs and integrate them within their company, which I think is very interesting. I don't know what this means because there's not been a lot of talk about it, but I don't know what this means for Streamlabs themselves. So you know what I mean? Like, does this mean that, are they going to incorporate and take over? Is this going to be one of those types of, we bought your company, keep doing what you're doing, we're not going to mess with you? Like, I don't know what this means.
How it work, because if they were to take away the current infrastructure that Streamlabs has up, then I feel like it would crash. For example, when do you know Bebo? Yeah, you know Bebo.
Bebo.
Everyone here knows Bebo.
Who is Bebo?
The social network app.
No. Oh, okay. I've heard of it. Yeah.
So Bebo was a predecessor to Facebook, a lot like Facebook, but when you click on somebody's page and their music starts playing, their pictures pop up. Oh, so it's
MySpace.
Screen.
It's new.
It's
MySpace.
Better than MySpace. It was before MySpace. It was before MySpace. It was before.
Really? MySpace is old, dude.
And the thing about Bebo was, so Bebo crashed as soon as Facebook launched. Okay, they just completely went off the face of the earth. Their users dropped. They produced their own OBS. I used the Bebo OBS when I started streaming because I just thought, this sounds interesting. They had been rebranded 3 times to then.
Okay.
And you saw exactly, when I started using it, I was like, God, I can't really do much here. I feel very stuck. And I felt the same with the Streamlabs OBS. When that came out, I said, yeah, I'll use it. That sounds interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I felt incredibly, it felt more difficult to use than OBS normally itself.
Right.
And then, now, this is where variation comes. Eglorian, I know you like using OBS. I use Stream Elements OBS.
I've heard good things. I've heard good things of Stream Elements at OBS, actually. I've been even considering a move to Stream Elements, just because I feel like all their services are actually easier to use than Streamlabs.
Yeah, but with the way that OBS works for me as well, I'm completely able to customize everything that I see. I don't need more than one monitor to see everything, from alerts, from donations, from everything. It could not be more perfectly made. But, and this is where it really drove me in. Now, I had a problem, and I have a continuing problem with OBS itself, that it takes up too many resources on my computer, and I have no idea why. I was talking to you about it when I was using OBS. I was talking to Mufel. I was talking to so many other of my big streamer friends. For some reason, I just have a cursed profinity with them. Now, the way that I fixed that was actually downloading the Stream Elements OBS, and all the problems disappeared.
Interesting.
My resources were not being used up as much whatsoever.
Okay.
And OBS has commented on Twitter on Stream Elements OBS being good, like it was the best port
Wow.
so far.
Okay. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
I want to point out the person who made Stream Element or OBS as a total. All that they ask for payment is donations, whether you want to use it or not.
For regular OBS, right?
Yeah, but it's not even a donation thing that pops up when you launch it, such as for Audacity or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's you know what? It's it's there on my website. You can click on it if you want. Oh,
it's totally open source.
Yeah, there you can get that if you want.
Yeah, it's totally open source.
He was going through a tough time about a year ago, and he asked for people to donate. And he said, "I hate doing this, but I actually need donations to keep on developing this, and I want to be because he is still a full-time job." People donated straight away. He was able to get in a week all the big streamers that use it. And it turns out a lot of big streamers use it.
I feel like a lot of the old school streamers still use OBS Studio. So yeah. Makes sense.
But I mean, I really love OBS. I wish I knew about it when I was younger, instead of trying to get a cracked version of Fraps the whole time.
Oh, dude, I was very lucky because I started streaming very late, that I was able to just jump in immediately to OBS Studio. It was good to get to know that and kind of just get used to it. But yeah, I don't know what this means to there's not a lot of news about this. It's just they've made the offer. I don't think Streamlabs has accepted it formally, officially. I think it's just on the table. Yeah, I think it's just on the table. There's no news. I haven't heard anything, because I think that as soon as that happens, they have to make an announcement. Streamlabs has to make an announcement, our new partnership or new ownership, whatever, to address it to the public, because they can't just take 89 million in cash and not make a public announcement, right? Because then I believe
Logitech
that this
has agreed to acquire.
Exactly.
So that's an offer. It's an
offer.
Guarantee.
It's on the table. It still does not mean anything. It still does not mean that it's going to happen. But 89 million in cash, I feel like they're going to take it. I mean, that just makes sense. But we'll see. We'll see what that does.
F in chat, boys.
Logitech has not been the worst company in terms of, I think Logitech has been very involved with the streaming world in general. They've been upping their arsenal of web cameras to kind of fit streamers more, gaming peripherals as well, their software. They have been including themselves in the streaming world more and more. This is just that next step. You know what I mean?
But they were seamless in it. They really eased themselves into it. For example, I'm using 2 Logitech cameras, one hooked up to my main computer, which you're looking at now, which was my original one, and then the Office Supply, I think it's called, one from Amazon for €15 over here. They're perfect. They're a great camera.
I'm guilty of the same. 2 Logitech cameras. So yeah, they're easy to use. They're good hardware. They've been I've had these cameras for years, dude. I feel like my 720 is probably 6 to 7 years old and still works great. Sure. So yeah, they've always been involved in this world in this sense. Oh, and they also own. They've also made a purchase of Blue microphones. So Blue Yetis, that company is actually from Logitech. Logitech owns it. If we can learn anything from their purchase of Blue microphones, it seems that their stance is cooperation and not takeovers. So I'm not too worried, but I'm curious what this means. Logitech is a huge company, if we think about it. With those resources, I'm actually curious to what Streamlabs will be able to do going forward if they accept this offer. So,
I think
if
anything, they're going to have more integration. Anyway,
integration, cooperation, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. I feel like it's a good thing.
Something that would really drive me into it would be, now when I launch my webcam on this computer, my main computer, I always have an issue where it's zoomed in. It's always stuck on one profile. Don't know why. I've set it to priority. It launches at startup. The way that I have to fix it is I have to open up the Logic Pro app. Now, the thing that got me thinking there is, what if they integrate the Logic Pro app into the Streamlabs OBS? That would create a lot of opportunity.
I think that's actually the way to go, is to include in, like, plug in the controls for your webcam directly into Streamlabs and give you full control, because that is the trickiest part. Before a couple, when I started streaming again, so a year ago mostly, for some reason, I don't know what to tell you on how this happened, but this happened. I didn't have the Logitech Pro webcam software installed. I don't know what I had. I had probably some generic Windows drivers. However, those gave me access to a control panel that had all the settings for the camera individually available. Stuff like zoom, brightness, contrast, gamma, color intensity, and stuff like sharpness.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, buddy. Hi, Ghost.
I'm advertising something here.
Oh, there we go. Look at that. Beautiful. That's beautiful. This meme quality shit right there.
Wait, hold on. One meme.
Oh, do you have the red filter?
Oh, wait, never mind.
No, okay, good. But
I set it up more.
Oh, Jesus, look at that. But you know what I mean? Like, if that is actually what comes out of this, or it's one of the things that comes out of this purchase, then I think that's actually a very positive thing for all the streamers that use Streamlabs OBS. So I don't know. I'm definitely curious to see what goes on from here, but I'm not expecting a huge shift in how Streamlabs operates, if that makes sense, because they've been one of the biggest players on the streaming world. Especially in the last year, I feel like Streamlabs has expanded so much. They started doing the automatic, like the merch drop for streamers. They started doing recently the website.
They are a loved name.
Yeah, they are. They're I think they're the most trusted company in the streaming world in terms of those services. I think like a lot of people flock to Streamlabs mostly because it's word of mouth, and it's just it's like you're saying, there's a trust built into that name because of everyone that uses it. So it's interesting.
Now, just to get back, Wooden Leg. Okay, I fully admit I was actually incorrect on that. MySpace was 2003, Bebo was 2005. I thought it was the other way around. Excuse me. And also I thought Bebo was actually sooner. I thought it was 2002.
That's fine. Let's talk about MySpace.
Also, the thing is, Sergeant Santa was after saying they have to compete with
Corsair
and Elgato in terms of peripherals and streaming. Now, I don't think they would go in as in depth as Elgato into streaming. Would you have to also remember, you're paying for a premium if you would go with Corsair or Elgato. I would rather a Logitech webcam.
I think the point that Santa's making here is that Corsair bought Elgato. Elgato is owned by Corsair.
Yeah.
And maybe what powered this move by Logitech might have been that purchase itself. Like, Corsair is, as Logitech, like a peripherals and actually more of a PC component company that suddenly bought Elgato, and it's like, okay, they're now part of the streaming world as well. Like, Corsair is already like one of the most well-known brands for PC components, and they started in the last few years getting into peripherals as well. Mice, headsets, keyboards, etc. Very good quality products, and then suddenly they bought Elgato, and now it's like, oh shit, Elgato is like one of the biggest, specifically streaming hardware manufacturers that is, as you said, as well as Logitech, most trusted. So I think that maybe what Santa is saying is this is maybe Logitech's way of combating a little bit and kind of inserting themselves in this world, because they both see a future in streaming. You know what I mean? Like, integrally.
Me as a buyer.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about a company sense. I'm talking me as a buyer. I'm looking at, how I sent you the Elgato green screen and everything.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking at that. I'm like, God, it is actually great. And
they've come out with something else lately. I don't know if you've seen. They come out with I think it's a camera mount.
You see, that's good, but I would consider that cost effective. Whereas through my looking at green screens more and more, I realized I can buy a newer. Oh, they get everything newer. They do everything. It's fucking weird. I was looking at a newer mount and green screen, and it comes to about €30 in total, rather than paying €150 for a green screen from Elgato, even though it's convenient.
Yeah, it's convenient. But like, that's the thing. That's the thing. They took Elgato basically took the needs and ways that streamers, content creators, YouTubers have been doing for years, and they're basically manufacturing a solution that's easier to use. That's their whole deal right now. They're doing that with the green screen. They're doing that with their new crane. Sorry, it's not a crane. It's like it's like a camera arm. Think of a microphone arm, but for your camera. So it's highly adjustable. It lets you basically do a lot of different types of streaming by giving you a solid like piece of fucking steel to hook your camera to.
Onto your desk.
Exactly.
It's perfect.
Like they're taking every, let's say, minimal or like maybe minor problem that streamers have to deal with. It's a multi-mount. There you go. And they're taking it on and be like, okay, how can we make this easier in a one-time purchase? You solve this problem. Green screen, bam, there you go. Oh, you don't, how you hang this? You don't have a wall. Like I don't have a wall. My fucking green screen is hanging on a fucking clothesline that I drilled into the wall. Like that's my solution. And then Elgato is just like, dude, fuck that. Here's this solution that is going to work for 100% of streamers, 100% of setups, and it costs you a little bit more, sure, but it's going to solve your problem. That's, to me, feels like their approach to these products that they're making. Sorry, I was going to say products. They're actually products. But I think that's what they're doing, and that's why their name is so big right now.
Yeah. But honestly, I'm not here to bash it. I'm just saying more cost effectiveness in that I'm not a big streamer. So, oh my God, I just saw two flies fucking make.
I know, I'm sorry. I don't know what to do.
But the thing as well about Elgato is, even though I'd give Elgato shit for being an expensive piece of machinery, that's what they've come to. They do make products that nobody else has made, and they do make products that actually has use outside of streaming. For example, and this is going to be something that's going to hit me in the head and hit you in the head. I'm amazed we haven't commented on it yet.
Oh no.
Two monkeys and a stream deck.
Oh yeah, that's right. Do you remember when we were coming up with the name? We actually looked up, and Stream Deck. It's not a copyrighted or trademarked word. It is the name of Elgato's product, but apparently Stream Deck is not trademarked, so that's why we decided to use it, because it's actually also known like in the production world as like a TriCaster. Like a TriCaster can also be sometimes called a Stream Deck, like some of them,
or
not
I've
all
also
of them.
heard it being described as a multi-macro pad.
Multi-macro pad. Yeah, for example, that's what it can be used for. Yeah, that's what it could be named.
But it is an incredible piece of little machinery, and you can do customization to a depth that is good enough for any general use or streamer, which is something that really dragged me into it. And that's why I wanted to get it. Oh, my voice. When it went on sale for Christmas gone, I bought it right away. It was for 100 euros. I bought it because I said, this is something that is really handy and I can use this even when I don't stream. And it has been. It makes everything incredibly easier for me. Now, I could have bought a keyboard for less and had that programmed, but I would rather the simplicity of it.
You could have bought a macro pad like I have.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, and I'll say this completely honestly, the only reason why I bought a macro pad was because I know that my needs, I needed more buttons. Literally, I needed more buttons. If I did not need all my fucking dumbass scenes, I would definitely buy a Stream Deck. Because it's, as you said, it works. Everybody can vouch for it. It's easy to use, and it actually looks very nice on your desk. Like it's not a cumbersome piece of equipment, and you can, it has a little LEDs that you can define what images. It's perfect as a use case scenario. But different needs, I guess. I don't know.
Oh my God, Sergeant Santa saying he might get the XL.
The XL looks amazing, though. It's not. So it's the dream, Sumkat.
No, it's too much.
It's the dream.
No.
I want two XLs. I want two XLs, and I'm going to tape them together.
No.
That's what I'm going to do.
They have cross compatibility with them now.
What do you mean? You can use two of them like in a chain?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Someday Elgato is just going to release a fucking mixing desk.
Wait,
it's just like it looks like a production table.
It's 32 keys.
I have 88. I have 88 keys, buddy. So listen, that's not enough for me. My pad has 88.
You can go into folders. You see, that's the thing. You make folders.
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
that's right.
Stream Deck, so that's why you don't need
that's
so many keys.
That's one more button press, and then I will have to press two buttons to do this. And I don't want to.
You're so lazy. No, like I have everything up. Okay, hold on. Okay, now that we're talking about Elgato, my Stream Deck is just after turning on, and my computer isn't even on.
Ooh, the spooks! It hurt. It's like Alexa. You say Elgato, and it just goes like, boom, boom. Hello, which scene do you want? That's the next venture. I'm gonna make
this thing.
I'm gonna make
this glorified hockey puck. Do you all know how much I bought it for off of Amazon?
You bought it like during their fucking fire sales and shit.
£15.
Perfect. What can you do with it?
It came with hue lights, so I bought it as a discount.
That's dope. Have you seen is it the Philip hue lights that you can hook up to your stream and have people change the color with chat commands? I've seen that. I've seen that in a couple streams.
A little bit more work.
But it looks great though.
Yeah, I don't have it set up.
It's a shame. That's a shame.
It would be nice to set it up though, because then stream could torture me with all the colors that I fucking hate.
That's the point. That is the whole point.
Samuel L. Jackson is going to voice Alexa.
No, is that for real? No, that's no way. That's for real.
I'm not going to enjoy that, because then it would be like, he'd just do his usual taglines, and that'd be kind of boring after a while.
Wait, is Samuel L. Jackson tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane?
Yeah.
Can he say that as Alexa?
Of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Alexa, so what is the time for the Snakes on a Plane movie tonight? Motherfucker! You ain't watching that movie! And it's like, all right, Alexa, all right, you're the boss. Amazon are actually doing it. That is fucking amazing. That might be the stepping stone that gets me to buy an Alexa.
Now, they also have a Pikachu one. They also have a Digimon one. They also have a stream recording one.
Wait, is it like packs, like a GPS voice packs?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's actually interesting. That's good. Should we go on to our last? Didn't we have a last bit of news that we
have?
What is it?
Two more.
Oh, this one is just a quick one that I think is worth mentioning, because I think this game is actually really good. So for those of you who we played a little bit, I played a little bit of this on stream. I don't know if you've touched it yet. It's called Return of the Obra Dinn. For those of you who have played it, it's that Game Boy looking 3D world exploring detective on a boat game that is just unique is the word comes to mind when talking about this game. It's just a great overall game. It's made by Lucas Pope, which is the developer of Papers, Please, if you've ever played that.
Good game.
And it's his second game, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a great game. It looks amazing for the aesthetic that he chose to go with. And it's finally coming out on consoles. It's coming out on every console, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. So if you've not played that game, I think this is a great Switch game. Due to the nature, I don't know if have you played the game, Sumkat?
I haven't.
No. So the way the game plays is you kind of go from it's all about environmental storytelling, and your part in it is you're an investigator for an insurance company, and the boat, the Obra Dinn, has returned back from a voyage after years, and no one knows what happened to it. And your mission is to go into the boat and discover what exactly happened to everyone on the boat, because everyone is gone. And as a insurance investigator, your objective is to understand what happened and kind of figure out if you need to pay anyone. It's kind of the deal, but. That's not the point of the game. The point of the game is you're supposed to go in and investigate what happened to these people, and it's a little bit mysterious. There's a little bit of eldritch horror in it. It's great. It's a great game. It's great for the Switch because it's all kind of separated into these scenarios. So you kind of stumble upon people. Bodies, dead bodies, and you kind of investigate that body, and then you have a recreation of what happened to them at the moment of their death. Oh. And that's kind of how you investigate it. You have like a crew list with everybody's names. You have like a picture of all the crew, and you have to deduce. It's an investigative game. It's a lot of fun, especially to stream, because the chat can help you with, being smart and deciphering shit. But
I'm going to need that.
You should check it out, and I think it's a perfect Switch game because you can kind of just do one clue and turn it off and go to like on the train or something. It's a perfect game for it to take on the road, I think.
I'm a no rest brain kind of boy, so I'm gonna have a bit of difficulty with that.
You should definitely check it out. It's a great it's a chill game in the sense that it's all about observing the clues and making connections and kind of talking about it with your chat to kind of understand. If your chat gets into it, it's a great game. You should definitely check it out. And it looks amazing. It looks old school as shit.
Where will I be able to buy it?
On Steam. For PC on Steam, and on the consoles now, you probably will be able to just buy them from their stores.
Good.
Definitely check it out. My boy Luke.
Don't have to go anywhere else.
My boy Lucas Pope is a great developer, and I cannot wait to see what he does next. Wooden Leg in the chat actually brings up a good bit of news that we haven't talked about. Discord's Nitro Games Library will be closed in October. Do you know what that is?
No. Yes.
Okay.
You have fallen victim to it, and I have fallen victim.
A little bit. I don't think it's going to affect purchases, though. So here's what I've heard. So you're saying that because we bought last year on...
But specifically for that game, there has been an exception made for it. I'll get to it after you're done.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know about that. But yeah, so the Discord's Nitro's games is different. It's not part of the Discord store, which itself is also being closed or has been closed already, which I still feel like Discord is probably one of the biggest players in the gaming world because of everything that they're trying. I fucking, I clap at everything that they've tried. They tried to launch a game store, didn't work, close it down, just move on to the next thing. It's so honest and it feels humble. You know what I mean? They feel like they've taken failure in stride, but keep moving forward. And I don't think every company is like that. So I definitely applaud them for that. But yeah, so the Discord's game store has closed because it didn't work. It didn't bring enough business in their view, and I agree. And so Nitro's games was different. There's a subscription method on Discord where, alongside with a lot of perks that you can have on Discord, it was also offering a library of games, kind of like, PlayStation Plus, Xbox Live Gold. You get a couple free games every month as long as you keep that subscription. Those licenses are tied to your subscription, so if you stop your subscription, you stop having access to those games. That's how it worked. And that's also going away. I actually don't know why that is going away. I don't know if that's tied to the store itself. Because again, or maybe could be because as a driver of subscriptions of Nitro, maybe it's not working as intended, or maybe a lot of the Nitro subscribers are not even noticing that they have free games. You know what I mean?
I'd say it's that.
I think it's that too.
I know a lot of people that are Nitro subscribers, and I actually never see them talking even on Discord, never playing the Discord games.
Yeah, I think it's mostly people view Discord as it is, as a platform for voice chat.
That's how it should be. It is a great platform. It's an amazing platform.
It's an amazing I don't think they should ever strive away from what they're doing, but I also don't think they should stop trying. I think this is and due to them always constantly coming up and inventing new ways to kind of involve more gamers with Discord besides the natural platform that it is, I think that's actually super smart. I think that might bring about something that they're going to come up with that might even astonish us, be like, oh fuck, how did they think of this? This is great. They might change, they just introduced, I don't know if you saw, they introduced Discord streaming. Have you seen what that is?
Yeah, I haven't been able to try it out yet, but I don't have too much faith in it.
I'm so curious to try it out. I might try it out today. I don't know. I'm just so curious to see what it looks like. Because apparently it's just you stream.
It's nice. Okay.
You tested it. So how does it look like? Do you stream directly? I'm assuming you send your video feed directly to Discord servers, and then they basically publicize it within your. Do they publicize it in your?
No.
Where does it go?
Only in that one channel you can view.
Channel.
So
what do you
mean? It's the same as we're doing here. It's just screen sharing, but only for that one public channel in that one server.
And is there a way? Okay, so people have to be in that server to be able to click on it and view.
They have to be.
So
in that
if
room
people are my friends,
you can only do it to 5 people at the same time as well.
So it's not really like a streaming platform. It's more of a sharing, like a screen share kind of thing. Hey, check this shit out, and or hey, here's how you do this, friend that is asking me for help. Instead of me having to launch OBS and go live on my Twitch channel when I don't want to, here's okay. I see what that is, but it has great quality. You can have more than you can have more now. Says Chaos in the chat.
Well, Here's something amazing about it.
Hmm.
I don't know if you did it, but I used to do it with my first internet friends. I used to do it where we'd go on Watch Together or Rabbit, and we'd all launch up.
I've
We'd
never
launch up
done that.
the movie on Rabbit, and
Yeah.
you'd all be watching it at the same time, so you all watch it together.
I've never done that, but I have done something similar recently with porn. No, I'm kidding. I've done something recently that is kind of similar to that, which is in VR, which is you have. I don't know if you've ever used VR, but there's these social spaces in VR. Certain games as well have that, where you can go into a movie theater, and then somebody will like kind of share their screen or just basically like choose like a YouTube video or a Netflix movie or something, and then you're sitting in a huge theater with a bunch of people also in also in VR, kind of just watching a movie. And I feel it feels like that. It's just a little bit weirder because you can see other people. And it's actually a really amazing experience to do it the first time.
I would feel mentally uncomfortable because you know how there are those people that have the fantasy of masturbating in a movie theater. Apparently, it's common. I'd feel
you
like
you would never know, but you would
masturbating.
never know, and he's not physically next to you, and you're not going to see anything.
Look, the idea of it makes me uncomfortable. I remember
Now
when I was in
put that in my
I
head.
was in Steam VR, or what's its name of it? Steam VR? Is that it?
Steam,
you know, the one where you walk around and everything, and it's great fun and whatnot. The big VR real life thing that came out. Emuna was playing a lot of it, and she still plays
VR chat. VR chat.
Now, it made me uncomfortable when somebody with a awfully erotic skin or an anime skin, or
which is
actually in any way-
90% of it's. I'm gonna tell you what VR chat skins are. 90%, 95% anime, 5% memes. There's no in between. There's no. You're either a cat girl or a emo anime dude, or you're a meme. You're Thomas the Tank Engine. You're
You're a House of Cory in the House. You know.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. That's the jam, man. That's the jam. I've never tried VR chat. I'm curious about it. I might try it one day, but if I do it, it's got to be on stream.
I'm going with you if you do.
Yeah. Do you have a VR set?
Yeah.
VR headset?
Oh fuck! I sold it. I sold my VR set and my graphics card to buy my current graphics card.
I hey, hustle, baby, hustle. I would actually say that I'm actually sad in a way. I bought my VR set in 2017, 2018, around there. And now there's the Quest, which is Oculus's new headset that is like you can play without a PC. It's just kind of standalone, which is not what I want out of VR. But they've just released, or sorry, maybe I'm talking about the Rift S, something along those lines. One of their models now that is wireless in terms of like, it's not wireless, sorry, but it's a standalone VR headset. It has like a you can compare it to like a phone hardware in terms of like graphical capacity and all that stuff. You could play without being hooked up to a computer and no sensors. So it does inside out tracking, which is the best thing, because if you don't have to fuck with sensors in VR, it makes the experience so much better. And so they've came out with that. And now they've made an update where you can just plug it into your PC and use it as a normal Rift, but it's a Rift with inside out tracking.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so good.
That's the dream.
See, that's the thing. Facebook did a fucking amazing job doing it.
It did. They did.
They brought it back. It was good. It was okay. And then Vive came along, and that was the new standard. Now they have fucking launched a standard to a point where Vive can't touch it right now.
Yeah, because Vive released the new Valve Index, which is not even the HTC anymore. That's actually made by Valve. Apparently, it's a great headset in terms of hardware capabilities. And they released the Knuckles controllers, which I think they're now called the Index. Knuckles was the code name, which they do finger tracking.
They are amazing.
They are amazing.
They are actually,
but
they
still,
will be the best for ages.
You don't have inside out tracking. You still have to set up lighthouses, sensors to play with that hit with Index. So to me, I would, and even though I love and I think finger tracking is the future in VR, because it has to be.
Yeah, because you want to be able to finger
your Roblox pussy in VR chat. But it's the best. It's the best, and the Valve Index looks amazing in that aspect. But then inside out tracking, to me, especially being someone who is I'm kind of invested in VR, even though I don't play a lot of VR games. I still believe that that's a little bit of the future of gaming is in VR, because a lot of the experiences that I've had in VR have been
they've touched me. You know what I mean? They've been incredible. Like I don't even know how to describe it. There's a certain amount of, I don't even know what to call it. It's indescribable of when you're in VR. And so for example, playing Pavlov, which is kind of like Counter-Strike. The first time you walk up to a corner of a wall and you just physically peek and shoot someone, and you're like, it makes you feel great. So VR to me is something that is very interesting, and I'm always going to be invested in it. And I gotta say, for the amount of time I've been playing VR, the one thing that I hate is the sensors. They are the most pain in the ass thing that I've ever faced.
It was a huge problem for me, and I don't know if it's because of my height, but no matter where I put the 2 Falcon sensors that I had with it, I was never able to get good tracking.
Height is a big problem. I suffer from that a little bit as well, because I've been setting up my VR in my living room, and you can kind of visualize that my sensors are about waist high because they're on top of a table.
Yeah.
So I'm 6 foot, 1.80 m, so a little bit shorter than you, and when I was playing VR and I wanted to reach something up top, my hand would just disappear, tracking would just go out of the way. As soon as I did this, if I go over my head, immediately erase the immersion. I was playing Beat Saber once, and I was just jamming, and my hands were just going everywhere. And suddenly, when they went up, they would just drift, and it breaks everything. It's horrible when you're trying to or when you're like super intense in a Pavlov match or playing Arizona Sunshine, whatever, and you turn around.
I love Arizona Sunshine.
It's so good.
It was a good game.
And
it was my favorite game.
You turn around and suddenly your hands just go, and you're like, fuck. It breaks everything. So definitely inside out tracking to me is the dream. And Sasha in the chat has a very good question for both you and I. Do you fear that VR would be way too addictive once the technology is really good? Do you think that it's going to be like Sword Art Online, where VR becomes the thing that people do? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, fuck.
Do you think that's possible?
I have a difficulty with this, and it's kind of depressing. I had a dream that I loved Sword Art Online, but I had a dream, and whenever I got into VR, I couldn't stop thinking about it. If I could sit down and go into VR and just be in there, I would kill myself every time. For some reason, I had this dream that I actually killed myself in VR.
But
every time
as in Sword Art Online, where you would die in real life too?
No, that I'd physically kill myself. Like I'd commit suicide for some reason in it, and I can't get that fucking idea out of my head. It was a nightmare that I was having. I used to have rampant nightmares.
Really?
But that's something that I actually can't stop. I think about it every time.
Okay.
If it ever would come to that, I would actually kill myself in the game every time, just as an impulse thing, because I fear it so much. I don't want to be in that situation. It scares me. But I want that development. That would be amazing. Could you imagine the paraplegic people or whatnot just going into this and being able to be happy, walking around again, running? Oh, that would be so happy. Could you imagine how happy they would be with that?
I mean, I think my opinion is that I think that will happen. First of all, like I
think it will.
I think VR is intrinsic now to our society in a way that it was not in the 80s, when it was kind of it was a thing in the 80s and 90s, but then it kind of went away, right? But now technology is caught up into a sense that
it's a reality.
The shit that you saw in Star Trek, now we can maybe kind of do. You know what I mean? Like it's possible. The holodeck. Here we go. So I do think that could be an actual thing. And as Santa's saying in the chat, it would become a second world in which you escape. And to that, I say something that's been very similar to that in a couple, like 10 years ago, maybe Second Life. You remember Second Life?
Yeah.
I feel like Second Life is a good example.
People still have to survive, even if it's an addiction. They'd still have to feed that, so they wouldn't be completely away from society. They'd have to pay bills. They'd have to support themselves somehow.
Well, what if universal basic income becomes a thing and we no longer have to work menial jobs and people just spend their day in VR?
I wouldn't believe a second of that. I wouldn't believe a second of it, because say, for example, in Hungary, who do have a good dole system and everything, they make sure that even the people that are on the dole that don't want to get a job, they are working for the constituency. They get people to clean the streets, and when they clean the streets and put in the hours, then they can collect their dole. It's only a tiny bit of work, but it's still work. So they still have to be active, and they still have to be, you know, mentally engaged and everything. So it makes sure that their mental health is also taken into account.
What happens when the robots clean the streets?
I don't start, please.
What happens when all the robots just do everything and we don't do anything?
You're gonna make me cry. That's terrifying. I don't want to think about that.
That's what universal basic income is supposed to fight. It's supposed to fight automation. So, you know, what menial jobs are there to do when machines and AI are doing it for us, like driving us around, cleaning our streets, delivering food? What's there to do, Sumkat? I'm all in on cyberpunk, baby. Let's go. Put a fucking grafted cyborg arm on me so I can jack off at 1,000,000 miles per hour. I'll probably have a cyborg dick by then.
Yeah, you probably break off your dick and have
probably
it place as well.
That's why it's a cyborg dick. It's titanium steel. It's gonna hold.
I mean, if we ever did get to that, I would honestly say, I mean, me moving forward, I like change, but I would constantly try and find the good in that. And right now, it would be a terrifying idea to me. If that were a reality right now, I would be terrified. I'd be scared for my job. I'd be scared for my livelihood. But if I were eased into it, as I will be, as we all will be, I would be more comfortable with it. The main thing is right now, I have everything ahead of me. I don't even have I don't even have a proper job. I don't even have a college, anything. I don't know what I want to do with my life. I don't know. And
is this
the idea of something else taking any opportunity from the future
is this what you want to do? Talk to me at 11 in the morning every 2 weeks.
I would love if I could. If you see this,
if this is all we do.
If I could do this for a living, I would fall in love. Somebody, okay, I won't name who, but somebody came onto my stream 2 days ago or last night. No, 2 days ago. But they said, "What if you were paid to just speak night times to people?"
Like
and at the start, I was like, "No, that's ASMR. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into that because there's no money in it." But then I thought, actually, if I were commissioned or if I could get paid to send people to sleep by just talking to them in a
that
small
would be dope,
way,
actually.
Calming them
that's
down.
very relaxing. You know what you could do?
That's what I did starting off streaming.
You know what you could do? You could do special night streams. Just do special night streams. Bring out a fucking book and just read to people with your mellow tones and nice voice. I bet you.
See, that's the thing.
I bet you people would donate to be like, "Hey, dude, thanks for this. I'm just." Seriously, a lot of people listen to podcasts and music to fall asleep to. Why not Sumkat reading you a beautiful story, 50 Shades of Grey, you know, just reading to you. Just reading. Hey, we're adults. Most of us are like adults or you know, we're of age. Mommy and daddy don't put us in bed and read us a bedtime story anymore. Have Sumkat do it. This would work 100%, says the Red Cookie in chat. So you already have one supporter. Well, 2 with me.
Red Cookie, I know your voice though, and it does set your girlfriend to sleep, of course. Red Cookie has an amazing kind of.
Really?
He has a really relaxing low tone.
I love that. I love that. There you go. That's your future, Sumkat. Audiobook interpreter, Sumkat. Live audiobook. Dude, live audiobook. Just stream that shit. It's the future of Twitch. Nobody watches games anymore. What the fuck is this? You gotta be honest. There's a lot of people blowing up on Twitch.
Oh, fuck.
No, that's terrible. That's just boring. That's just boring.
Most of the
anti-VO is
that
boring.
came forward to me have been porn voiceovers for furry porn or hentai.
I don't want to hear your voice coming out of an anime person having sex. I'm just gonna put that out there.
It would be the girl, hands down.
Oh, dude, yes, the girl. Yes, put it in me, big
senpai.
boy. I love your big dick. Dude, that would actually make me burst out laughing.
I'd hate to hear your dirty talk. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, my dirty talk is actually
tame. Get out of here.
My dirty talk is all mathematical equations. It's my kink. That's what I get off to.
Equals MC. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. The square root of 52.
Tell me Pythagoras theorem, please.
This is getting out of hand, Sumkat. We have to wrap this up. Do you have any final thoughts on VR becoming the future life?
Power to it. I came across one VR channel actually that was advertised to me, and I couldn't be happier about it. Called Mommy's Comedy VR. Mommy's Comedy VR, and it's a group of 3 fully grown men just playing VR games, but they're laughing amongst themselves and they
That's
bounce off
cool.
jokes off of each other perfectly, and they're actually really really fun.
That's what we need to do. You need to get a VR headset again.
I don't want to
next...
get another one. No,
Get the Quest, dude.
no,
The Quest
dude.
is
I don't have the
amazing.
fucking money.
But not
I
now.
don't want to spend the money.
Don't get it now. Get it when you're big. Get it when you
Okay,
blow up.
but
Listen, Sumkat.
I'm gonna need a fucking room for that
Sumkat.
as well.
I
I'm
haven't
a big
told you
boy.
that. No, you don't. Well, you do. Well, yes, you do. But at the same time, you don't need that much space with the Quest because there's no sensors. Remember, it's doing inside-out tracking, so you're fine. You just need to not
one stride, one footstep for me is a meter.
No, you're tall. 1 footstep for you is probably more than a meter.
It's a meter. It's actually exactly a meter.
Jesus. God damn.
Wait, so then it works out perfectly. I'm 2 meters tall. My foot is the length of a foot. My foot is
literal
literally
foot?
a foot
Okay.
long. Yeah, my foot is
No,
actually. It measures
finally,
exactly
I can
to a
measure
foot
my
long.
penis with your feet.
Yeah. And I mean, if your dick is more than a foot long, man, good to you, I guess.
Hey,
God-
listen, I go
God
to Subway
forbid-
all the
okay,
time. I go to Subway all the
worry
time.
I worry for your wife.
I go to Subway all the time, and I'm like, dude, that's not correct, man. That's definitely not a foot long. I can show you. And I get kicked out. I've been kicked out of 6 Subways. It's terrible. I just want a sandwich, man. I just want a sandwich.
Oh, I love it. But yeah, I mean, and also my arm span is very long as well.
It is.
I busted my finger and I sprained my thumb so many times because of VR.
Oof. I
So
can
many
imagine you
times.
knocking shit over. We just need a big space. Listen, it's all fine. Come live. Once you're done with college. Come live here. We get a gaming house. It's
There you
fine
go.
as long as you're okay living with children, because that's what I am.
I'd be fine with that. I've already been told I'm like a fucking surrogate uncle.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, you'd be amazing. That's it. Come live over
There you
here.
go.
We just do content all the time. We play VR. We get a massive room just to play VR in, and we bump into
Actually,
each other.
one thing that I've been looking into
Yeah.
is actually animal voice acting.
Oh, but
Because
wait.
there's one animal voice actor, and it turns out that's a profession.
What do you mean, animal voice actor?
They
Like you make
noises.
animal noises?
Yeah.
My eye is
a
twitching
big-
because what? Okay, well let's have a live recording of this. What kind of animal
I said
noises can
looking
you
into
do?
it. I didn't say I fucking
Ah,
practiced it.
okay. You need to practice your animal noises. Start now. What animals can
But,
you make? What animal noises can you make? Come on, give us a taste.
I can do an amazing squealing knacker. You know that?
A neck.
A fucking amazing squealing knacker. You know?
Do a dog. for
Ray!
me.
Ray!
Do a dog.
What
for
do you
me.
know? I'm just so fucking good at it.
Oh my god. First one will be an octopus.
Oh my god. It always goes back to fucking hentai. What is this?
Hey, listen, Sumkat, sometimes it's better to steer into the skid and to just kind of just lean into it, man. Just lean into it. You never know what might come out of it. It's probably going to be bodily
Yeah, I know
fluids,
what's going to
but
come out of it. A lot of bad reputation.
all right, it's been a good podcast. We've been recording for almost 2.5 hours. This is yep.
That's an hour longer than last time.
This is what I was expecting, so this is perfectly fine. There's no more questions in the chat, I think, so we're good to go. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for tuning in for the second episode. You can also listen to it online once I upload it.
Spotify, on SoundCloud, and on my YouTube.
And on Sumkat's YouTube. We'll be sure to drop the links in the Discord once everything is ready. Thank you again for listening. My name is Eglorian. You can check me out at twitch.tv/Eglorian. I'm playing a lot of Destiny 2 right now, so if you're into that, be sure to check it out. And you, mister.
I'm a mess. I stream anything and everything. Twitch.tv/Sumkat. I don't know what I'm doing with life. I just play anything that's fun.
Hey, that's a good way to live your life for sure. Oh, wait, before we go, Zero Dippet was actually asking about what horror games we're planning to play on. If we're planning to play horror games during October, I have some sort of plans to play, as we were talking about earlier, some of the games from I forgot the fucking name again. Puppet something. What was it? Didn't I send it to you? Puppet. Yeah, there we go. Puppet Combo is a developer of like these really cool looking PS1 era horror games, and I'm thinking about playing those because I didn't want to play like regular
like everybody knows these games, kind of horror games in October. I wanted to do something different, so I'm probably gonna check these out, and they are looking interesting. So that's probably what I'm gonna do for October. What about you, Sumkat?
I
Do you have
right now
plans for
everything's up in
scary
the air
games?
for me.
No scary
Right now
games in the
everything is up
docket.
in the air for me. None.
Okay.
I
Fair
may
enough.
I may play something a little bit more contemporary. But I found when fuck, I'm an idiot.
What?
So when it comes to horror games, I'm really bad when it comes to horror games, but I was recommended to get Soma. So I got Soma.
Ah,
The thing about it was I completed it in 3 days because all I would stream was Soma.
it's so
All I
good.
wanted to play with Soma. And
It's
actually, I
so
found out
good.
something very interesting.
What?
I don't stream or I am not entertaining in any way unless I have a way to get energy or if I don't have energy.
That's I would
And
say that's
Soma made
normal.
that evident to me.
Why? Did it drain you? It is a very like psychologically
gave me
intense
energy.
game. Oh, okay.
But I was incredibly dragged into it as well. The Soma, okay, I would fully recommend people play Soma.
Dude, if you
can
haven't,
buy it
it's
for
one
very
of my
cheap as well.
favorite, not even favorite horror games. It's one of my favorite games. I've actually tweeted today a thing about, there's a meme going around on Twitter, which is like, put in your 4 favorite games and let your followers decide if you're worthy. And one of the games I put there was Soma, because Soma just it's a great game, but it has some really humanity related, like, it makes you question yourself a little bit in a way that games don't normally do. And I've found that amazing. I finished playing Soma, and it's one of those games where you finish and you're like this, just going like, what the fuck? It's just incredible. So if you haven't played Soma,
the second ending to it.
Second ending? Oh, you mean after the first thing? Yeah, that's even better, because I was not expecting to get that. I thought that was. We're not going to spoiler, by the way. Sorry, but
yeah, it changes the story completely. It was a complete flip on your fucking head. It was the whole everything that you've done has changed.
Yeah,
every perspective that you had about any system in the game changed.
I think it's just one of the best games done in the last few years. Not for anything like gameplay wise or like something like Half-Life, where it kind of changes everything, but storytelling wise, that game is a masterpiece. So if you've never played it, definitely check it out. I have a playthrough of it on my YouTube, and YouTube. No, you have a highlight of it on. Did you highlight it on Twitch? Your playthrough of it?
I was playing
definitely
it, and because so few people were watching it, nothing was really clipped.
No, but I mean, highlight the broadcast so that you can actually have a playthrough of it, or just upload it to YouTube, because Soma is one of those games that I think is just fucking incredible to watch people lose their fucking minds over it.
When I get the 3900, when I either save up or get pay by, I'm going to be recording at the same time that I'm streaming, and I want to bulk upload streams. That's it.
Okay, you could do that. That's definitely a way to archive them. That's good. All right. That's going to be all, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. If you have any questions or topics for next episode, definitely DM either me or Sumkat on Discord or Twitter, whatever your option is, and we're happy to have you and talk about that stuff. All right. Thank you so much once again, Sumkat.
Thank you.
And I'll see you later. Goodbye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.